And then Gibbons, who was guilty of the foul. So on to punt is Joy Hillbold, who's averaging 41.8. And Gari Scott, who has more punt return yardage than any Spartan in history, stands at the Michigan State 30-yard line. Good snap. And a booming kick. Chasing Scott inside his 15. Gets away from 2 tacklers. Hit from behind, and down he goes at the 20. Good coverage on a long kick. Concern that young Hillbold might have overkicked his coverage. A 56-yard punt, 5 on the return. Timeout. 3 minutes gone in this opening quarter. No score. Starting from the 20-yard line. Spartans with wins over Oregon 27-20, and they defeated Eastern Michigan last week 51-7. A 3-0 start important for them, developing a foundation for the upcoming Big Ten season that opens against Illinois next week.
First and 10, Michigan State.
TJ Duckett, the heralded freshman, 255 pounds from Kalamazoo, starts at tailback in this series. Fake to him. Burke throws. Incomplete. Intended for DeJuan Moss, the fullback.
TJ Duckett is a big man. You mentioned 255 pounds. You know, each week they've given him a little bit more. You know, he plays defense, linebacker as well. You see his first
game last week against Eastern Michigan, his first collegiate touchdown. He's now just 25 behind his brother Tico Duckett, who scored 26 in 4 brilliant years at Michigan State. This is a great talent, number 8.
Fun to watch.
2nd and 10. Whoa, hitting the backfield, Clemens, and spins away and picks up 4 when he should have lost a couple. Lamont Bryant finally secures the tackle.
Yeah, really a 6-yard gain because he should have dropped for a 2-yard loss. And the thing about Lloyd Clemens, which I think coaches really like about him, he knows exactly the kind of runner he is. He's not a bounce it out kind of guy. He's a tackle to tackle kind of runner. Good pressure by Brad Williams inside. He spins, he churns. I mean, he's not going to get you many 60-yard runs, but when it should have been dropped for 2, he gets you 4. That's a good run by Clemens.
He's a 6th-year senior, is Clemens. As is Ant Campbell, the defensive corner. We'll give you their stories as we progress today. Burke throws, complete right at the sticks, and forward to a first down goes tight end Chris Baker, the 253-pound sophomore from Saline, Michigan.
You know, Chris Baker is one of those complete type of tight ends. I mean, he catches the ball well for him, and this is a perfectly thrown ball by Bill Burke away from the defender, Justin Smith. Easy ball to catch. You know, those left-handers just seem to throw an easy ball to catch. Those always seem to be accurate, which indeed he is. Does not throw many interceptions, does Bill Burke.
And it's Baker's 7th catch of the season and the first down of this game at the 32 of the Spartans. Both wide receivers to the right. Fullback in motion, play action. Burke, plenty of time, guns it incomplete to the 6'6" wide receiver Plaxico Burress. Now Plaxico, P-L-A-X-I-C-O, a unique first name. He says it means survivor. Goes back to a great granddaddy.
You know, you go over the middle, you're hoping to survive. You know, the guy 6'6" really extends the strike zone. It looked like he was trying to settle down while Burke was leading him, but he's a walking mismatch. You know, at 6'6" against guys generally 5'9", 5'10". They like to throw him the alley-oops down to the inside the 20.
2nd down and 10. Spartans at the 32. Shotgun, Burke. Fires, almost intercepted. With a hand on it was Tario Harrison, the sophomore linebacker who starts his first game for the Irish today. Ronnie Nix playing in front of him, out with an ankle injury.
You know, a great play by Harrison, but Dick, you know, when you're 1-2 and you're struggling trying to fight back from 2 losses, these are the kind of plays you've got to make. Greg Madison, defensive coordinator, you know, really athletic play by Harrison. Greg Madison, defensive coordinators, yesterday we met with him. He said, you know, everybody blames the offense for that loss against Purdue, but we could have won it on defense as well. And plays like that help you win.
Yeah, at the end of the game, you forget about the opportunity lost by the defense. 3rd and 10. Scott in motion. Burke underneath to the tight end Baker, breaks out of 1 tackle and finally wrapped up by Clifford Jefferson, who bumps him out of bounds, and the Spartans will have to punt.
There's a play, you know, it's hard to understand. 3rd and 10, you throw a 6-yard completion. Again, when you have real tall receivers in the out, you can throw some to the outside, give a chance to jump people without, you know, risking an interception.
So on comes Jarrett. His first kick with a healthy roll was 52 yards. The freshman from Big Stone Gap, Virginia, Julius Jones, there to return inside the Irish 25. Close. As Jones, who has excellent speed, fights his way to the 32-yard line. Terrence Howard, number 32, very close to getting a piece of the punt. No score in South Bend. Back at Notre Dame, that's Amp Campbell, number 3, the cornerback for the Spartans. One of college football's most inspirational stories is Amp Campbell. Last year in the second game against Oregon, he fractured 2 vertebrae, making this tackle against the Ducks. And then just 7 days later, against the Irish at Spartan Stadium, Campbell energized his team by leading Michigan State on the field for the coin toss. Granted a 6th year of eligibility by the NCAA, Campbell returned this year. He's been a force on defense. Incredibly, against Oregon, he returned a fumble in the season opener. 85 yards. It proved to be the game-winning touchdown. Amp Campbell, nicknamed Soup, and has a tattoo to prove it, and you know what his favorite soup is.
Chicken noodle. Yeah, look at that.
6th year, given an extra year because of the injury, and of course a red shirt himself. Has a 3-year-old daughter. Kiara is inspiration. So Notre Dame starts at the 32. Jackson with a handoff, and it's the first touch of the ball by an Irish tailback as Tony Fisher gets a couple.
You know, the amazing thing about Amp Campbell, I thought, you know, his parents came out Sunday after the game to Eugene, spent the time with him, brought him back to Lansing, then spent 4 months. There's the nickname on his tattoo. 4 months with him, helping him rehabilitate.
And many felt, including himself, that his career was over. He's fought back, and he says, I'm going to prove to the NFL I can play at the next level. First pass is complete as Bobby Brown able to pick it off across the 40 and close to a first down. Jace Saylor, trailing back from a defensive line position, makes the tackle.
It is like Jarius Jackson just kind of reaches over. I mean, there's some people on his face, just kind of reaches over the defenders to find Bobby Brown. His little touch.
3rd down and short. Jackson on the option, keeps it for a first down, crosses the 45-yard line.
You know, the Irish on the option play, which they run about 10% of the time. You think of them an option team, but they only run it 10% of the time, are much better when Jarius Jackson, and they've got a kind of a hurry-up offense going on here. There's Kevin Rogers right there, the new offensive coordinator, but they have a hurry-up offense right now. Not only Michigan State substitute, but they're much better when he keeps the ball on their option plays.
Give to the fullback, and it's Joey Goodspeed. Battles his way into Michigan State territory to the 48-yard line. TJ Turner and others in on the tackle.
And once again, Jarius Jackson on the line of scrimmage, calling his plays. Again, not allowing Michigan State to substitute defensive backs.
And 3 wide receivers in the game. Jackson on 2nd down. Plenty of time and fires to the sideline. Is he in bounds? Yes. Rakai Nelson, the senior from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, for 14 yards.
You're going to see Rakai Nelson catch this ball and come down in bounds, but Joey Goodspeed, the fullback, really great block to give his quarterback the time to get rid of that ball. So a great block by Goodspeed, and then nice footwork by Nelson.
Only need 1 foot down for a legal reception. Quarterback draw, and Jackson to the 32-yard line.
The Irish have a lot of talented players on offense. They have a lot of different types of offense, but what they don't have this year is a play or a series of plays, like the old days when you ran the ball off tackle, that they can really hang their head on week in, week out when they're in trouble. And they're starting to try to find that play or series of plays that they can go to when they're in trouble.
Still working with a quick huddle. 2nd down and 8. Jackson into the flat to Goodspeed, and he pays a punishing price as the tackle made by Julian Peterson. Peterson, the senior from Hillcrest Heights, Maryland, near Washington, D.C.
Peterson, he had interception last year against the Irish for a touchdown, right, Dick? And here again, Peterson is one of those guys that's going to make a lot of plays because he's got great speed. And in a nickel situation, he rushes the passer, he gets down the stance.
No gain, 3rd down and 8 for the Irish. And and a flag before the ball is snapped. Bob Davey saying that he had trouble all week long. Somehow he said at 2:30 every morning he was waking up trying to digest those.
Snap. False start on the offense. 5 yards penalty remains third down.
And the penalties are part of the difficulty in assimilating what's happened so far in this young season.
Well, you know, they've had 9 turnovers thus far this year, 8 sacks. You know, a much different start than their 2-1 start of a year ago.
Nearly 100 yards in penalties at Michigan. So tougher challenge for Jarius Jackson, who now looks at third down and about 13. Changing his play, brings Rakai Nelson in, throws over the middle, incomplete. Bobby Brown, the intended target, broken up by Ant Campbell. Richard Newsom was there as well.
Well, he saw the blitz, read it properly. Jarius Jackson did, call the audible, wanted to slant it to Bobby Brown up here. I thought that ball may have been tipped. But Ant Campbell just driving. I mean, again, when you have the blitz, usually as a corner play, inside technique, take away the inside and then drive, because you expect a short pass when the quarterback calls the side adjustment.
So he'll bolt into punt again. And Gari Scott back at the 10 for Michigan State.
We'll punt this ball in the end zone.
He pooches it.
Yep. Love it when you say that.
And it still goes in the end zone. Was it saved? No. Tony Driver down to try to save it for the Irish, but unsuccessfully. Michigan State will start their next series at the Spartan 20. 47-year-old head coach Nick Saban of the Spartans. He's 2-0 against the Irish, winning the last 2 meetings. First in 97, Todd Schultz hit Josh Kerr. Spartans up early, then Schultz scored on a keeper to give Michigan State a healthy lead on the way to a 23-7 victory. Last season, Bill Burke hit Gari Scott, first quarter, 16-yard touchdown. And to seal the Spartan victory, Julian Peterson read Jarius Jackson correctly, picked off the pass, 23 yards for the score. The Spartans winning 45-23.
Well, Dick, you know, there's been a common theme in those 2 games. They've gotten out to very quick starts, you see, in these 2 games. But today, 2 punts, 24 yards on their first 2 possessions. So the Irish, from that perspective at least, it's slowing them down early in the game.
And Spartans start now their 3rd possession at the 20-yard line. Lloyd Clemens, the solo running back behind quarterback Bill Burke, the senior from Warren, Ohio. The left-handed Burke brings Baker, the tight end, in motion and gives to Clemens. And Clemens out to the 22-yard line. He's their leading rusher this year, 148 yards coming into this game, a 5.5-yard average. He has a 4-year-old son, Darnay, and at 19 years of age, while at Michigan State, he took a whole year off from football to take care of his newborn baby, who was born with a kidney ailment. And he's okay now, and he talks to young people, and one of his messages is, it's okay to ask for help. He said that, you know, a lot of young guys and girls are afraid to ask for help. He said, it's there, use it. He did, and here he is now as a 6th-year senior competing, and his young son is healthy, thank you. To the 30-yard line and close to a first down.
And competing pretty doggone well. I mean, good offensive line play by Michigan State. I think the big reason Michigan State is 2-0 is they've run the ball well. These guys do a good job up front, and they've stopped the run on defense. Sakura, number 70, kind of kicks his guy out. Good block by Scott, the wide receiver, the outside. And then the last 3 yards, Lloyd Clemens, that is him just kind of pushing the pile.
He gets the first down with that second effort. He's 207 pounds from Detroit. Actually went to high school in Indiana, Pennsylvania. He was a freshman at Rhode Island. They shift the beef to the right side, and they run that way. The toss to Clemens, stacked up maybe a yard on the play. Looks to be no gain as they unpile, and number 53, Lamont Bryant, around the ankles to make sure he didn't go farther. Bryant from Georgetown, South Carolina. A lot of kids on both sides from Florida, the Carolinas, and concerned about the hurricane this last week. And now concern on the Notre Dame sidelines. Starting safety of Johnny Sanders being attended. Sanders, who has been a leader in that secondary. A senior from Houston. Let's take a look at what happened, Pat.
Well, here's Sanders here, number 5. And there are just, you never know what happens at the bottom of those piles. There's a zillion of every football game.
And you could see he was down low, and that's always a concern, possible head injury. And of course, we talked about Campbell. He said, I'll tell you one thing, I hit what I see now. I don't
keep my head up.
Keep that head up.
Yep.
Say, fans, go in depth on the Fighting Irish by logging on to MSNBCSports.com. A special section, NBC's Notre Dame Central, features our partner Pat Hayden, player profiles, video game highlights, audio interviews with key players after the game. Plus, you can vote for the Irish MVP for the season. MSNBCSports.com, the official website of NBC Sports.
You solved your Y1K problem yet?
Well, that's why I'm tuning in. Are you going to give us some hints on
that? You're talking about the speed of the linebackers.
Burke, and he is unkind as Gari Scott has a ball in his hands. Can't hang on.
Gari Scott, incomplete.
It was Justin Smith, number 29, who made the play. Came in for a Johnny Sanders. And again, one of these things, on these quick passes, you're not going to, that's just a drop ball. That really wasn't even coverage. Just a drop ball.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
Thank you, Dick. Johnny Sanders has a stinger in his right arm. He's being attended to by the doctors now, and he will return shortly. Dick?
All right, Jim, thank you. Ron Israel, hurt last week, is not going to play today, so the Irish a little thin in that deep secondary. 3rd and 9. Blitz. Harper can't get to Burke. Burke can get to Richardson. LaVale Richardson, his first catch, and is out near a first down. Let's see where they mark it, down at the 39. And a flag is down. Back where Burke threw the football. And we have a clipping call against Michigan State.
Well, Bill Burke is not going to make you forget Barry Sanders, in your case, Hugh McElhaney. But he can be an elusive. He's a big guy, 6'5", 205 pounds, but he is an elusive guy. That time he just bought himself a little bit more time to get the ball to Richardson, but all for naught.
I thought you were going to say Lynn Shadnoy and Emil 6-yard Sitco. Now, that'd been more like it.
Well, you like those guys,
That's a great part of this series is the history. These two universities, so closely located, only a couple-hour drive from East Lansing.
Nice drive. Drove down.
So the penalty takes it all the way back to the 12.
Flipping on the offense. Half the distance to go from the spot of foul. Remains 3rd down.
Well, you got the inside blitz, or the outside blitz in the corner there, and Burke sees it. Patient just gets around Devin Harper's blitz. And then right there's the clip there. It was on Pico, number 74. Right bottom corner, there.
And Lance Legree of the Irish. And that puts the Spartans in a 3rd and 28 hole.
Don't force it here if you're Bill Burke.
Trouble with a snap, and the center still has the football. Casey Jensen.
That is trouble. When the center still has it, everybody else is moving.
Coaches hate when that happens.
But these are one of the situations, and Bill Burke is a calm, patient guy that you don't, get too impatient here and force something to turn the ball over.
On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Ball marked back down to the 7-yard line, and 3rd and 33 faces Bill Burke. Good news for the Irish that Johnny Sanders has returned to the lineup. That's strong safety. And it's a little draw play. Gets him a few yards out to the 10 is Little John Flowers, named after the Robin Hood character by his dad, number 323 Flowers. And Joe Farrar, backup linebacker, made the tackle. Jarrett in the punt for Michigan State at the 3:48 mark of this opening quarter.
And Notre Dame should get very good field position.
Jones drifts back to his own 47.
Looks like they may have a punt block on.
10 men on the line of scrimmage. They back off one. Yep. And again, it was Terrence Howard penetrating. Here comes Jones and can't get on track. Tackled by number 2 Herb Haygood, the wide receiver of Michigan State. 42-yard punt. 2 on the return.
Yeah, we talked about the difference in last year's and this year's season for the Irish. Sacks allowed. Last season they had 9 for the whole year. This year already they have 8. They had only had 18 turnovers the entire season, 9 already. I think this is the biggest reason that they are now 1-2 and struggling. They're not running the ball with the consistency they had last year in between the tackles, and they're forced to throw the ball more.
Bob Davie has inserted Arnez Battle, the sophomore quarterback. He's a great talent from Shreveport, Louisiana. They've been wanting to give him more opportunity. He tosses to Tony Driver on the option, and Driver to the Michigan State 49-yard line, a gain of 1, maybe 2.
Coaches are funny, Dick. They always want to get, sometimes the backup quarterback in the game and give a little experience. By design, each week they've had plans to get Arnez Battle in. Got in the first game against Kansas, hasn't gotten played since then, but they feel they have to develop that backup quarterback in case Jarius Jackson's injured like he was a year ago. Plus, Arnez Battle is a threat in his own right.
Yeah, last time we saw Battle, he was running 74 yards for a touchdown against Kansas, and then didn't get to play anymore. So what did they do wrong?
It's a nice average.
2nd down. That's Nelson in motion. Take the Driver. Wide open over here. Incomplete. Intended for the fullback Lipinski. And there wasn't a Spartan within 7 yards of him.
And Lipinski is a hard guy to miss. 6'1", 256 pounds.
A very young backfield now being used by Bob Davie.
Yeah, it was kind of that bootleg off a play-action pass. Sometimes it sounds funny. Sometimes when a receiver's wide open, it's awfully hard to hit him because you try to aim it too much. Even Jarius can't believe it.
The captain of the Irish, Jackson, still rooting from the sidelines for Battle, who is the heir apparent. He's 6'1", 212, only 19. On 3rd and 9. Flag down, no play. Usually means the offense moved. Let's check it. Davie, like his counterpart Nick Saban, as kids were really better known for their baseball ability. And
prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty remains 3rd down.
Davie was a terrific catcher. In fact, went to the University of Arizona to play baseball and eventually migrated back to Youngstown State, where he was a tight end. And Saban on the other sidelines at Kent State, a defensive back, but was a terrific infielder as well in college. Third down, 14. 4-man rush. Battle breaks through that rush. Good runner. Looks for a block. Finally hammered at the 49-yard line, but he shows you why the coaches see great promise in Battle. He was caught several times in that sequence and made some yardage.
Yeah, you're right. Where Jarius Jackson is a powerful runner, he's a little quicker. The nice thing, though, he did not force it. As a 3rd and long, you're obviously in the ball game or in the game. Don't force the ball down the field. Punt it and play defense. Maybe make a play for the running game. Very quick feet does Arnez Battle have.
Oh, Gari Scott back to field Hildebold's 3rd punt of the game. Scott at the 10. Another good driving kick, too good. And into the end zone it goes. So Michigan State, in an almost broken record here, will begin at the 20-yard line. It's the 4th straight time. A reminder, this week on NBC.
Get ready for a great week of all new episodes. NBC Premiere Week begins Monday. NBC's biggest shows and stars are back. Monday kicks off NBC Premiere Week.
You won't want to miss NBC Premiere Week coming up. No score here at Notre Dame Stadium. 80,000 strong to see the Spartans and the Irish under perfect conditions. Cool in the morning, nice warm sun, around 80 degrees at game time. The toss is to Duckett, and here comes TJ. Rumbles for about 14 out to the 34-yard line before Johnny Sanders can make the stop.
Boy, you don't see many running backs wear that many pads, do you? I mean, TJ Duckett, number 8, has got pads all over the place because he plays linebacker on defense. Now, Denman looked like he ran right by him. But although he's 255 pounds, you see the power there, but he's got some real soft and quick feet like Jerome Bettis. He can make guys miss in small areas.
He's got 4.45 speed, benches 500 pounds, speed and power, a lethal combination for opposing defenses, and he's got another 8 or 9 and a first down.
Yeah, Coach Saban each week is giving him more. The opening game, just short yardage. Last week, he was their leading rusher with 83 yards. This week, they're playing him earlier, and they're going to play him more.
Look at this high school record at Kalamazoo at Lloyd Norrick's high.
There's all the defensive stuff, and he didn't do badly on offense, you know. And he came here, it was kind of a quarterback in high school, felt he couldn't play tailback, and you know, Coach Saban says, I want this guy to be a 1,000-yard rusher.
And he said, I want to play linebacker. Saban said, I'll let you play where you want to play.
I'm the coach.
Duckett again. And more gingerly on that play, instead of really hitting the hole, looking to dance through it, and gains maybe a yard and enough for a first down. It was 2nd and 1. His brother Tico, he's not related to Ellis Duckett. Those of you who go back a few decades to Michigan State football lore, they feel that this young man, before he leaves Michigan State, is going to have All-America written all over his resume.
He was a high school player of the year last season.
First down for the Spartans at their 45-yard line. Lloyd Clemens returns. Play action. Burke fires wide open. Tight end Ivory McCoy, and he's down to the Irish 30-yard line. 25-yard play.
You know, Dick, we've opened up this broadcast by saying the wide receivers of Michigan State, watch out for them, but it's been the tight ends that have really been the featured targets thus far today. He's right, crossing right over the middle, and again, well-thrown ball. Didn't make McCoy slow down as he made the catch, and he knows what to do after he catches the ball. Very good after the catch is McCoy.
His first catch today, his 5th of the year. And the Spartans with their deepest penetration at the Notre Dame 30. Final seconds, opening quarter. Burke to his running back, Clemens, caught from behind and dropped for a loss of a couple.
Yeah, that's not Clemens, especially getting the ball to the outside. I mean, they like to keep, and they should keep him inside, tackle. He's a banger inside.
Lamont Bryant in on the tackle along with Tario Harrison. That's the end of the first quarter at Notre Dame Stadium. No score, Michigan State and the Irish of Notre Dame will return to South Bend after these words from your local station. And our producer John McGinnis. This is Dick Enberg with Pat Hayden, Jim Gray. Welcome back to Notre Dame Stadium. We open the second quarter, no score. The Spartans at the Irish 31, 2nd down 11.
Second and 11.
Send Clemens in motion, both wide receivers to the left. And Burke fires in that direction, has a man. It's big Plaxico Burress. And it's 1st and goal, Michigan State at the 7-yard line.
Well, Burress dropped 3 passes last week, but he really cradled that ball in. You know, a lot of times these big, tall pass receivers don't necessarily run good routes. It's a good corner route by Burress. Takes his man inside, gives him a little fake, very patient, and gives the quarterback a lot of room to be able to throw. A lot of times when the receivers run corner routes, they don't give the quarterback enough room to throw the ball in there, but a good route there by Burress and a well-thrown ball by Burke.
With his size and his speed, they liken him to Herman Moore or Randy Moss. It's 1st and goal. They spotted at the 8-yard line. First threat of the game, early second quarter. Tight end Baker in motion. Fake to Duckett. Throw. Touchdown. Tight end Chris Baker, Michigan State.
Boy, the tight ends for Michigan State have been impressive in this first half.
Baker with his 2nd touchdown of the season. Good play action to Duckett.
Yep.
And Baker was wide open. 80 yards in 7 plays. Nick Saban Spartans to score the first touchdown of the game. In to try the extra point, Paul Edinger, who has been absolutely perfect. He's a leading candidate for the Lou Gross Award. It's the top collegiate kicker. 5 for 5 field goals. He's made all 8 points after. Burke, the holder, right down the middle. Michigan State 7, Notre Dame nothing.
A little misdirection on that one by Baker. Baker's right here. He's actually going in motion this way. Then he comes back. He's going to his right. And the play action there to Duckett. And again, he's over. There's another tight end in the back side of the end zone that's open. So a well-designed play by Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator. These tight ends have played well. And Baker's blocked well, and he catches his second touchdown pass of the year.
So Bill Burke and the Spartans celebrate the first score of the game, 7-0 Spartans.
Notre Dame football is brought to you by the Principal Financial Group. For all your goals, plan ahead. Get ahead. By the new Impala by Chevrolet. Let's go for a drive. And by Adidas. Long live sport.
Welcome back. Michigan State leading 7-0. A very impressive drive. 7 plays, 80 yards. It started with TJ Duckett's run, and then a fake to Duckett set up the touchdown.
Yeah, he just says the offensive coordinator draws him up. You know, we're going to run it, then we're going to play action, get the ball in the end zone. A real good series.
Edensher to kick it off to Tony Driver and Terrence Howard. Ball comes down at the 4-yard line. Driver to the 24. A reminder, we'll be back in 2 weeks. The Irish, after a bye week, play the Sooners of Oklahoma. 2 traditional powers. Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Saturday, October 2nd, here on NBC. Jackson returning to the lineup for Notre Dame after Arnaz Battle, getting a chance in that last sequence. Eric Chappelle, the third-string quarterback, dismissed from the team, the senior, as Notre Dame reporting to the NCAA 3 incidents yesterday that have been involved in this fall in their program. Give on a mini reverse to Tony Fisher, and Fisher with the biggest gain of the game on the ground for the Irish, gets about 12 out to the 36.
A good call by Kevin Rogers, a play we haven't really seen, the old crossbuck. You kind of appreciate that, don't you, Jack? You fake the ball to the fullback, but a misdirection play to Tony Fisher. Everything else we've seen with the Irish today and this season has all been to one side or the other. A little misdirection there opened up a nice hole there for Tony Fisher. There's Kevin Rogers.
He's had some nail-biting games there the last couple. First down at the Notre Dame 35. Give it to Fisher again, and the former Mr. Ohio, Euclid, Ohio, near Cleveland, gains about 5 more before TJ Turner can make the stop.
Different offense this year under Kevin Rogers for the Irish. A little bit more wide open than they have been in years past. A little flanker reverse for a score against Michigan a couple of weeks ago. Good play action fake there by Jarius Jackson. This was a 4th and 1, that old Y hide kind of play, but a great call by Rogers. And they still have the power of Jarius Jackson on those option plays. That's when he's best, when he's carrying the ball in those options, but a different type of offense.
On 2nd and 5, give it to Fisher again. Patiently waits for the block and gets out to the 44. He'll be shy by a yard of the first down. Denied by Robaire Smith, number 91, and Julian Peterson.
You know, Dick, even though they had this wide open offense, all these things you can do, you know, really good football teams, as we talked a little bit earlier, have 1 or 2 things they can really do well. And I think Notre Dame's still trying to find that. You know, for 25 years, they did some things, but they always ran the ball between the tackles well. New offensive linemen, new backs, they're not there yet.
When we see USC later this season, it's that student body right and left. That's been part of their program for how many dictates? 3rd down and 1. Jackson throwing to the sidelines, and a fine catch for a first down. And out of bounds goes Jay Johnson with his first catch of the season.
Yeah, you didn't see that from Notre Dame much last year. On 3rd and 1, kind of a throw. It was pretty good coverage there.
And a tough throw, Jackson throwing against his body.
Absolutely. You know, 3rd and 1, but real good coverage, tight coverage by Hill, but well thrown away from that tight coverage. He's not going to catch it. It's not going to get picked off. It's going to be 4th and 1.
So Johnson from Jackson with a Notre Dame first down at the state 48. Fisher caught for no gain as Robaire Smith, a 6'5" senior from Flint, Michigan. What a family, this Smith clan. Fernando is a defensive end with the Baltimore Ravens. He played at Jackson State. Robaire's brother, Antonio, was a starter of the Michigan State basketball team last year that went to the Final Four. He's got a sister who is a model in Indianapolis. They've got a lot to talk about when they come home for Thanksgiving, don't they? Second down 10. Quick throw. It's almost intercepted by Amp Campbell. He had a touchdown in his midst. That was ever so close. Laying for that one.
Oftentimes, you watch games and you say, why is the corner given such a big cushion? Well, they read the quarterback and then they can drive on it like this.
Bobby Brown he was the defender on that pass.
And your heads up play by Brown. But big cushion there by Campbell. Sees the three-step drop. As soon as he sees that three-step drop, boy, he's driving. Now, what that sets up is the little three-step. You pump it, and then you go by him.
Third down and 10. At the Michigan State 48, 7-0 Spartans. Early second quarter. Jackson calling out the defensive alignment and an adjustment made by the Irish. Rakai Nelson trying to get over the middle to throw to Nelson, complete. And it's short of a first down as Eric Morris, Spartan senior safety from Oak Park, Michigan, makes the play at the 39.
Gari Nelson seems to, quick one, just be a little bit short on the pass against Michigan at the end of the game. So that brings up a 4th and 1. The kicking game, I think Bob Davie has to go for this thing. They've really struggled in their kicking game.
Here comes backup tight end Dan O'Leary. And he replaces Rakai Nelson as they go to double tights. Will they have time to get off the play? 9, 8, 7 seconds on the play clock. And we'll see whether they took the timeout or delay a game.
They took a delay a game penalty. Again, a bit surprising. I would thought they would do that and then actually have a play run or call the timeout. They're so concerned about their use and misuse of timeouts the last couple of weeks. I mean, I think, you call a timeout there and you give yourself a chance on 4th and 1.
Instead, they take the 5-yard penalty, and young Joey Hildbold, the freshman, will try to drop it inside the 10, and ever dangerous Gari Scott waits at that 10-yard line. So far, they've been able to ice this sterling kick returner, Scott. And again, hit well too far.
Don't put the ball in the end zone.
So instead, Michigan State comes out at the 20-yard line, and the net and all that was just a handful of yards.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. 11 minutes remaining in this first half at Notre Dame. Michigan State on an 8-yard touchdown pass. Bill Burke to Chris Baker, the tight end, leading 7-0, and the Spartans on the touchback start at their 20 once again. Scott in motion. Clemens, the ball carrier, gets to the corner and rumbles for 12. First down, Michigan State.
Boy, good block by Gari Scott as well. You talk about him as a punt returner, kick returner, wide receiver. But when it comes time to block, he does his job there.
First half, possessions for the Spartans after 3 consecutive punts. A fine 80-yard march for the only touchdown of the game.
We talked to Bill Burke this week, Dick. He's a very calm guy. I mean, he's a patient guy. Doesn't seem to force things. He calls himself the facilitator out there. And, if you punt the ball, big deal. You can get it the next time.
They come out with a 1 wide receiver set and give to Clemens. Big hole up the middle. Bowls his way for 11 more. So back-to-back 11-yard runs by fullback Lloyd Clemens, and another Spartan first down. The 2 safeties, Sanders and Cooper, finally get him to the turf.
When you're not getting hit till you're about 3 or 4 yards into your opponent's territory, your offensive line is doing a good job. And they just kind of blew Notre Dame aside that time, and again, the good, tough inside running by Lloyd Clemens.
Anthony Weaver limped off, and that's right where they ran that last play. Weaver, the sophomore tackle. First down at the 42. And this time, Clemens caught in the backfield for a loss of 2 or 3 yards as Tario Harrison and Grant Irons made the play. Make it Duckett, TJ Duckett in on that call.
Calling Grant Irons number a lot. Who's gone through some adjustments at Notre Dame. Started number 44, started as an inside linebacker, then they moved to the outside linebacker. Now he's a defensive end.
Up to 275 pounds and still able to keep his feet at 4'6".
All those peanut butter jelly sandwiches at midnight don't seem to bother him.
4 nights. Yeah. Wake up hungry, he says. On 2nd and 13, it's Duckett again. And he can't Duckett the defense as they pour in. Short gain for the freshman. Will bring up 3rd and 11.
I know you like following companies and the market. He's a growth stock. If you look at TJ Duckett, he is a growth stock. As he plays more and more, you're going to get more and more out of him. This is a guy that has explosiveness written all over him. Even though he's 255 pounds, remarkable speed. And I think you're probably going to end up seeing him playing more and more offense and less defense, although he spends 2/3 of his practice time right now on defense.
And while he has fullback size, 6'2", 255, that's not his spot. He'll be a tailback if he's going to play offense, says Nick Saban. So on 3rd down and 11, the throw is incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Chris Baker. And a good defensive play made by Justin Smith, the defensive back, the junior from St. Petersburg, Florida.
And even if he catches this pass, it's not a first down. Now maybe Bill Burke is thinking, hey, it adds at least 7 yards to my punt, but a ball that probably should have been caught there by Chris Baker.
And credit to Anthony Denman with a defensive move to force Burke to throw.
That's good offensive line play there up front, though. Blitzing linebacker got him.
Greg Jarrett's a punt. Julius Jones
they're
blocked by the Irish. It's a live ball picked up by Driver, and Driver down at the 21-yard line.
Then there was a walk-on, Jonathan Hebert, who got the block.
So a big play when the Irish needed it. 7-0 Michigan State, and Jarrett blocked by the Irish surge.
Remember, Bob Davie said yesterday, hey, we think we can get after him. Right up the middle. I think it's number 48, Jonathan Hebert, that gets up there. It is. Got it with his right hand.
Hebert, a non-scholarship player, a walk-on.
Yeah, great story.
What a throw for him.
You know, walk-ons are a big part of this program, Notre Dame. And he just came up cleanly right up the middle. They actually thought another guy, Shane Walton, was going to be able to block a punt. But it's Hebert who comes cleanly.
Now the Irish take over, trailing 7-0 at the Michigan State 23-yard line. Jackson to Driver. And he's able to squirm inside the 20-yard line, a pickup of 3 or 4.
Big emotional lift by our special teams. 8:20 remaining in the first half. There's Jonathan Hebert. I mean, when they play they play wishbone teams. He plays the opponent's wishbone quarterback. Good high school player, but the Irish have 8-10 walk-on players who come out and contribute in special teams and otherwise. It's one of the 2 special teams coach, Jerry Rosberg.
2nd down, call it 6. Jackson being chased into the end zone, incomplete, and good coverage on the wide receiver David Gibbons as Eric Morris, number 9, who's a solid player, right there with a potential target.
Nickname Bam Bam, appropriate in this play. I mean, he's more of a close to the line of the scrimmage, you know, stop you stuff the run type is Eric Morris, number 9, but real good coverage on that play, saving what would have been a touchdown by Gibbons. He is their leader on defense, leading tackler.
4 of those for losses this year. 3rd down and 6, and Jackson into the shotgun. Rakai Nelson joins Johnson on the right side. Jackson in the backfield. He fumbles the ball, and Michigan State says they've recovered. They do. Julian Peterson was the man in to hit the quarterback and knock it free, and Peterson, who has been a big play performer for the Spartans, comes up with another huge hit.
Well, Peterson had an interception for a touchdown last year against the Irish. Plays linebacker, but then they get him in situations. He's up here, I believe, comes off a black on the inside move. But they make him a rush in on passing situations. And then Shaw, number 95, made the recovery.
Nick Saban Spartans, after the block punt at the 23, come right back. Peterson forces the fumble. Michigan State has it at the 23. There's sophomore Josh Shaw from Fort Lauderdale. He recovered the fumble of Jarius Jackson, but it was his teammate Julian Peterson, who continues to make big plays, interceptions, forced fumbles, sacks. And he returns the ball to the offense at the exact spot where they lost it at the 23-yard line. 7-0 State. Burke to throw. Eludes the rush. And it's intended for Gari Scott and broken up by Clifford Jefferson. And Jefferson close to an interception.
Gari Scott.
Well, again, a little bit of mobility there by Bill Burke. Again, he's not going to outrun you, but he just buys himself a second chance. You know, actually, Scott was looking for the ball out in front toward the boundary, thrown to his inside, and Clifford Jefferson, who's had a good year at cornerback for the Irish, and probably even a better year as a special teams player.
You have a sophomore from Dallas. He has the best vertical leap, and he's going to need it against these tall receivers. He's 5'9". 2nd and 10. Look at the power of Clemens as he runs through 3 tacklers out to the 26-yard line. What do you have for us, Jim?
Well, Anthony Weaver, who left the game last series, Dick, has a sprained left knee. They took the brace off, checked the mobility. It checked out fine with the doctors from Notre Dame, and they expect that he'll be able to return.
Weaver, along with Irons, part of the defensive future of this Notre Dame team. He's only a sophomore from Saratoga Springs, New York, and started as a pure freshman a year ago. Moved inside this season. 3rd and 7. Mini screen to the right, and Clemens has a first down and more out to the 37-yard line. Or he can be wrestled down by freshman Jason Beckstrom from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, you watch the center, Casey Jensen, number 64. I mean, he's the guy that really gets out there and sets this thing up. I mean, and this is going to be a 3-yard loss without the block of Jensen. I mean, it wasn't a powerful block, but just kind of screened his man, pushed him away, and let him cut inside that. And he's right at number 64. I mean, these guys have done a real good job. The reason they are 2-0 is their offensive linemen have played very well thus far this year.
First down for Burke and the Spartans at their 37, and hit in the backfield is little John Flowers, knifing through Anthony Denman and Lamont Bryant to make the stop.
One thing the Irish linebackers are is fast. I mean, Harrison, Denman, Boyman, Farrar. Greg Madison, defensive coordinator, and really worried about these wide receivers in particular. Burress, the height mismatch.
Denman, the junior from Rusk, Texas, with a big hit on the last play, a 2-yard loss at 2nd down and 12. That's Burress, the 6'6" target. Burke throws another screen. Denman misses. So did 2 other Irish tacklers, but finally brought down is little John Flowers. A short gain of a yard or 2. Should have been a loss, and one of the Irish tacklers slow getting up. Looks to be Lamont Bryant. Able to get off under his own power. Senior from Georgetown, South Carolina.
He's got some good speed in him too, Dick. A couple of sacks against Michigan. One of those guys that runs sideline to sideline. I mean, they do have. I mean, they're struggling on offense, but defensively, I think they're much faster than they were a year ago.
Like Bob Davies said that to his team on Sunday, they didn't wait till Monday. Right after the Purdue loss on Sunday, they met. He said, "You think that Purdue was better than we were a year ago or this year? How about Michigan?" The consensus was that this is the better Notre Dame team. Long goes Burke, and Scott unable to bring it in. Good job defensively by Deke Cooper. Scott had it for a moment, but Cooper able to reach in and rip it away.
When you're a free safety, as Deke Cooper is, I mean, you have to cover some ground. I mean, you really have to, you got to step up and make a lot of tackles. But when the ball's in the air, you've got to cover a lot of ground, and indeed he did. Really a ball that probably should have been caught by Scott. I mean, these receivers have dropped a couple of passes they ordinarily don't.
So Craig Jarrett comes in to punt for the Spartans. Last punt blocked. Sends this one down on one big hop to Julius Jones. Somewhat tentative, and now he picks up some speed at the 20 and out of bounds at the Notre Dame 29-yard line. That's where the Irish will start. 4:57 left in the first half. Nick Saban, his 5th year at Michigan State. He came with a reputation tough on defense.
Yeah, and the reason Notre Dame hasn't scored is because they've had some really outstanding plays in this first half. One here, you're going to see the corner. Amp Campbell had a chance to pick that one off, and then just a moment ago, great play by Julian Peterson causes the fumble after a sack, recovered by his teammate Josh Shaw. So a much improved Michigan State team. They started, what, 1-2 a year ago, 2-0 now, and they called this a hump game. Love to be 3-0 before they start the Big Ten schedule.
153 yards to the Irish 84 in this first half. Notre Dame with a golden opportunity lost after the block punt. Jarius Jackson, that long handoff to Julius Jones. And the freshman ripped down from behind at the 37-yard line. That was Eric Morris. Jones is probably the fastest player on offense for Notre Dame, and yet that safety man able to get the angle and catch him from the backside.
You know, he has this, you have this feeling about it. I think everybody senses it because he's got a reputation here in South Bend of making big plays. I mean, you feel like when he gets the ball, something good may happen. But, you know, the Irish have had 10 first downs, and they've run the ball 10 times. I mean, you're going to have some big chunks in the passing game. A lot of times those happen on first down.
Jones gets 7 on first down. By Nelson in motion. Play action for Julius Jackson. Almost intercepted again, intended for the fullback, Joey Goodspeed. And who else but Julian Peterson. Peterson is not that heavy for sometimes a stand-up linebacker. 6'4", 237. He'll play at defensive end. But, boy, he's got speed, he's got size, and he has great anticipation.
Well, you know, it's amazing. He has already this year, in 3 games, not even 3.5 games, 9 tackles for losses. 6 of those came in their opening game against Oregon, and they beat a very good Oregon team.
2 sacks. He's forced 2 fumbles.
Yeah.
And that's a playmaker. 3rd down 3. Play action. Open is fullback Lipinski, and he dropped the ball. That would have been a first down. Lipinski perhaps guilty of trying to run before it was there.
Absolutely. Boy, the Irish the last 2 weeks have thrown the ball, the fullback a lot. Joey Goodspeed, you know, caught 5 passes last week. Only had 1 coming into the game in his career. This ball a little bit behind, but certainly catchable. Would have been an easy first down. And, you know, it's things like that lead to losses. I mean, you always say, hey, what happened at the end of the game? But you've got to make plays like that to break a 1-2 record.
Well, from close range, Joey Hilbold has been punting it into the end zone. He's got almost the full field this time, as he'll deliver from the 25. High spinning kick that Scott waits for, and is tackled immediately at the 30-yard line. Good coverage by the Notre Dame Fighting Irish of a 36-yard punt. It's 7-0 Michigan State. Just under 4 minutes remaining in this opening half. Michigan State leading 7-0. A reminder to check out Notre Dame's official athletic department website, www.und.com. Live in-game statistics, transcripts of Bob Davie press conferences, all the inside information on football and all the other Irish sports, www.und.com. Leading 7-0. Bill Burke and Michigan State go to work at their own 30. Pretty good balance in that offensive game plan. And TJ Duckett, tough to keep your balance when you're being ripped that way, as Tario Harrison spearheaded the defensive charge.
You know, you talk about the balance, you know, all that coach speak. You hear it every week, you know, we want balance, we want balance. But Michigan State this year has been remarkable. They've averaged, you know, 204 yards rushing, 224 yards passing. And what balance allows you to do is be unpredictable. I mean, it allows you to do some things that you can't really game plan for.
Loss of a yard on first down for Saban Spartans. 2nd and 11. Duckett back in. Bit of a confusion out of the huddle, and Burke's got his offense set. 3 wide receivers and Duckett the lone tailback. Now they have a 3 right and a reverse. Breaking 1 tackle is number 86, Gari Scott. Tries to reverse again and pays the price inside the Spartan 20.
And the Irish will use one of their timeouts. Again, this is they've struggled with timeouts before with 2:25 remaining in the half. But hey, how about a hustling Grant Irons? Now, he missed him twice, but first thing he's down here. He stays at home, forces him wide. Even though he missed him, he disrupted the rhythm of the play. And then he comes back into the picture. He doesn't give up. He's going to hit and miss there again. That's O'Grant. but nonetheless, he's there. He took a shot there.
He's the setup man for Johnny. They've got a deal there. Irons to Sanders, and Sanders with a tackle for the loss at the 20-yard line at the 2:55 mark here in the second quarter, as the Irish have the Spartans pinned at 3rd down and 20.
Grant Irons played for a while like a lost ball in tall grass, but you know, this is the best we've seen him play.
220 pounds as a freshman, now weighing in at 275. Yeah, Michigan State with a great football lore going back to Biggie Munn and Duffy Doherty.
Boy, that is going back, yeah.
How about Bubba Smith?
Oh, man.
Earl Morrill.
Kill, Bubba, kill.
Morton Anderson. A lot of folks forget that the great kicker in the NFL, regarded by many as the greatest ever. Kirk Gibson made his name in Major League Baseball. Receiving yards. How about those names? Gibson, second Andre Rison, Courtney Hawkins, Ingram, Gene Washington, great player from the Rose Bowl team of the 60s.
The 66 team was awesome.
Burke out of the shotgun, 3rd and long. And he's sacked by Brad Williams, the senior from Orange, California. Williams with the sack. And time called, as Notre Dame will spend its second timeout with 2:45 remaining in this first half. So there's been a lot of work done on use of timeouts here in the South Bend.
You know, I'm wondering whether I would have saved that one. There's 2:45 remaining in this first half, Dick. Now, I know they're very sensitive about how they've used and misused their timeouts thus far this year. I'm surprised with that one. I would have rather have saved that one because there's 2:45 remaining and given your quarterback 2 timeouts.
So 1 remain for Jarius Jackson and Bob Davie. Julius Jones will drift back to return the upcoming punt.
One thing about having a punt blocked in a ball game is that you're always concerned about protection, and that means you have a chance of a pretty good return. So the Spartans have to be concerned about make sure we protect the punter, which should give the Irish, a pretty good opportunity to return this one.
Davey calls his team to the sideline, so he's going to personally offer his instruction as to what he wants them to do on this return. A couple of punts ago for Jarrett, blocked by the walk-on Hebert. And they're going for another one, according to Jim Gray, who was eavesdropping on that last discussion on the sidelines. Jarrett will kick from about his own 3-yard line. Gets it off. And it's high, end over end. Fair catch Jones at the Notre Dame 48-yard line. A 41-yard punt, no return. So the Irish have just over 2.5 minutes to try to catch the Spartans. It's Michigan State 7. Notre Dame, nothing. 2-0 start. Things are high for Michigan State. They lead 7-0 today. The Irish are 52 yards away from a tying touchdown. Last week at Purdue, at the end of the half, you can see Jarius Jackson. He was looking to spike the ball, but the field goal team was sent on, and then the end of the game, we've seen that through the week. You don't even have to be a Notre Dame fan to know what happened there, that 16 seconds left and the Irish unable to get off a final play. So it was miscommunication. Will they be on target here? Play action by Jackson. He sold it well, throws it long. He's got Hunter down there. Javen Hunter, he fumbles, and it's recovered by Michigan State. Ronaldo Hill pickpockets Hunter.
You know, the hands of Van Cliburn that time by Hill. He actually did take it away. First of all, Jarius Jackson did a great job of getting that ball. He had some rush on him, and he had to throw that off his back foot and got a lot of zip on the ball. Then it was actually a pretty good catch for a moment by Hunter and stripped away by Hill. Right hand in there, rips it out and catches an interception.
So Hill, who, they've had a Hill at that right corner for Michigan State for several years. His brother, Ray Hill, who is now with the Miami Dolphins, started at that spot 3 years preceding Ronaldo. Maybe Ronaldo learned some tricks from his older brother. Look at this. That's a big league play.
Heck of a play. A good play by Jackson that was spoiled.
Denies the Irish at the 10-yard line. Here comes Clemens out for about 5. As the Irish denied again, Lance Legree makes the tackle, and Michigan State deep in its own end with 2:15 left in this half. We'll see how Saban uses the clock. Or is he satisfied with that 7-0 lead? Taking their time with the Spartans.
Yeah, I think he's pretty satisfied with the way his defense is playing in particular. His offense has been, opportunistic, made some plays, but one good drive for the touchdown. But his defense, the Michigan State defense, has played particularly well.
Jackson, who had last year only 6 interceptions, that was his 6th of this season, although that's not his fault.
No, it wasn't. And they are throwing twice as much.
Clemens, flag down, is tackled at the 15, well short of the first down, about 5-6 yards shy, as Andy Wisney in on the tackle, number 94 for the Irish. And we'll see if this is against Michigan State, that the Irish might decline, bring up 3rd down and about 6.
They should decline it. And so if it's a...
Here's the man who made the big defensive play, Ronaldo Hill, the interception.
May well be right there, top of the screen, tight end, McCoy, number 85. Got the Heimlich maneuver on Lamont Bryant. Now, if the Irish stop from here to run, they should use their timeout.
They did not take the penalty, so it is 3rd down and 6. They'll get another opportunity if they can deny Michigan State on this 3rd down play.
Yeah, very big play for Notre Dame.
Burke looking for Burress in the flat, and the big tight 6'6" wide receiver knocked out of bounds at the 23-yard line. That appears to be a 1st down for the Spartans.
Good call by Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator. You get your quarterback on the outside to get away from any kind of blitz in case the Irish were going to bring that. Look at that. Hands the size of small dogs. You see that? He's got very large hands.
Yeah, he's what a target for a quarterback. And Morris Watts was at LSU a year ago in this stadium with the Tigers against the Irish. And now Michigan State can basically run out the clock.
Yeah, but Morris Watts, what, 3rd different time he's been here as the offensive coordinator for Michigan State?
Nick Saban content with a terrific defensive effort by his Spartans, and one 80-yard march for a touchdown as Burke hit tight end Chris Baker 8 yards for the score. A reminder coming up, our Sun America halftime report. Hannah Storm is in our New York studios with the college football scores and highlights, and also an in-depth look at the state of Notre Dame football, all coming up at halftime. The Hoosier State is also the home residence of the great champion Muhammad Ali, who is here enjoying the game today.
Yeah, there he is.
Here's the champ, and this is the time at the end of a century. I know you probably as well. I've had a chance to vote on the all-time greats of this or that for the 100 years, and I think one thing's quite certain. It comes down to the most important athlete of our century is either Joe Louis, Babe Ruth, or that man Muhammad Ali. It'll be one of those 3, no matter what poll you may be watching, and I sense that Ali might just be the number 1, not only for his tremendous athletic talent, but how he stood up.
Yeah.
In the Vietnam crisis. Jim Gray.
Thank you very much, Dick. Well, Muhammad Ali lives a short distance from here, just about 30 miles in Michigan. He's a big fan, both of Michigan State and of Notre Dame. And he was just inducted, as you talk about the athlete of the century, by the state of Kentucky. He is their athlete of the century, and the banquet took place during the week.
Back
Dick?
in his, yeah, right, Jim. He was, as a teenager, the Louisville Lip, as Cassius Clay. And I've been privileged to be able to sit with him in a training camp in Munich, Germany. And he said, you better turn on that recorder. Your grandkids are going to want to hear this. Well, there's a fumble by Clemens, and it's picked off by Grant Irons. And Irons of the Irish have it at the 26-yard line. Well, that was like a Muhammad Ali right cross. It just knocked the ball free from Clemens. And with 31 seconds left in the half, the Irish have another chance.
A terrible error there. Or you can say it's good defense. But Clemens has got to know all you have to do is secure the ball. And he's going to get the ball deep in the backfield. Both hands. get both hands on it. It was the arm, it was the helmet, but I think Denman that got in there, and then Grant Irons. Now, the Irish, good defensive play there, but the Irish, 31 seconds remaining, still have one timeout. But they've not done well in these kind of situations thus far this year.
So credit Denman with a hit that forced the ball free, and now Jackson with 31 seconds. Fires complete. Bobby Brown to the 15-yard line, and he's ridden down by TJ Turner. Clock running. And now it is stopped as they'll stop it for the first down, move the chains.
And then the clock will start again when it's set.
Ball at the 15-yard line of Michigan State. The Irish with a chance to tie before halftime. Jackson out of the backfield to Lipinski, and he gets only a yard, and Eric Morris makes the tackle. Timeout with 14 seconds left. That's the Irish final timeout. And you didn't second guess. You're way back when they used that second timeout, Patty. You said, as an old quarterback, you wouldn't mind having an extra timeout, but in the other case, maybe the time would have expired by now anyway.
Yeah, Dick, it just seems to me over the years, and I did it myself, you burn too many timeouts early in a half. And it's surprising how many situations you have like this, where you'd love to have another one. Yeah, the first timeout was called, 2:57 remaining, second 2:45.
Well, they've gotten two possessions, however, out of this situation. So with the hit by Denman forcing the fumble, giving Notre Dame the chance. And this is an interesting situation now, Pat. At 2nd and 9, no timeouts left, ball at the 14. You want to get a touchdown, but you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you let the clock run out again and don't get a chance for a field goal.
Absolutely disastrous. Absolutely psychologically, and for every other reason for Notre Dame. So on the sideline here, they've talked about a couple things. Hey, we can take a couple chances in the passing game. With 14 seconds, you could do that, and maybe take a couple shots in the end zone. If you can't, you get your field goal team ready. Fast field goal, it's called. So you'd maybe take a couple of shots in the passing game, but you have your field goal team ready to go. They tried it last week against Purdue and struggled on it, but they're all over there on the sideline. They've got this thing hopefully ironed out because they spent the last 2 minutes talking about it.
So that field goal unit is ready to run on the field. They're all grouped around Davey as Clemens hoping that his miscue won't cost Michigan State the lead. 14 seconds. No timeouts. At the 14. Full blitz. Throw end zone to Brown. Touchdown Notre Dame. Bobby Brown. Well, we talked about Michigan State's height and leaping ability over the shorter defensive back. Well, Bobby Brown used his 6 feet 2 inches to go over the top of the Michigan State defense and haul in that touchdown score. Now Jim Sanson, who has missed some extra points, and he rattles that one right down the middle. 7-7. Now the Irish, beneficiaries of a crucial fumble in the final minute of this second half.
Yeah, grievous error by Michigan State, but if you've Notre Dame fan and agonized over the last couple of weeks how they misused the clock, they did it right this time. And Jarius Jackson hung in the pocket under duress, threw it off his back foot, and gave his receiver, Bobby Brown, a chance. Threw it away from the defender high and let him go up and get it. Courageous to hang it in the pocket. And a smart throw by Jarius Jackson.
And they beat a good cornerback in that senior veteran Amp Campbell. And Davey, been tough to smile the last couple of weeks around here, and that one would send the Irish into the second half in a new ball game at 7-all. Bobby Brown with his second touchdown of this season.
Now, you talk about emotional lifts. You always see that, again, coach speak again, but that is one.
9 seconds left, and the Irish will just scoop this kickoff down, try to keep it away from Scott and Haygood. And it's Still bounds to Haygood at the 20, the 30, and out to the 40-yard line. He's tackled by Robaire. He's had quite a game, young Robaire. Maybe he's going to win a scholarship out of this game.
Yeah, it would be. His parents would appreciate that. There's the matchup again. Bobby Brown, Amp Campbell, bottom of the screen. And watch how he hangs in there under some duress. Throws it off his back foot. The blitz on the inside. John Morandi, the center, does a good job of picking up that blitz. Allows Jackson to get the ball off. So a lot of players in the Irish offense did a good job there.
And Bobby Brown making a somewhat acrobatic leap to pull in that pass.
Michigan State at the 39.
Just 4 seconds left. The final play for Michigan State, and Burke apparently is going to go for a long bomb. 3 wide receivers under the shotgun. Bryant applying pressure. Burke downfield, intercepted and tackled immediately. Is Jerome Sapp, the freshman from Houston, has his first collegiate pick. End of the half. Michigan State scoring on an 80-yard drive. Burke touchdown pass of 8 yards to tight end Chris Baker, and then a grievous error by the senior running back to cough up the ball in the final minute. And the Irish take advantage on the touchdown pass. Jim Gray with the Michigan State head coach.
All right, thank you very much. Nick, how disappointed are you? You basically dominate the half and then the mistake there at the end of the half.
Well, we haven't played very well on offense in the half, and Notre Dame's defense is playing well, but we were just trying to get out of the half there. We had bad field position, and unfortunately they made a good hit and a guy popped the ball out, and I think we could have got out of it with one more play if we'd have just executed the blitz right and never gave him a touchdown on the last play. But it's a little disappointing, but shit, we got to bounce back, and we got, excuse my language, but we got
a family show.
Yeah,
it was a family show.
We got to bounce back and play well in the second half. It's a 60-minute game.
Nick, thank you. Very colorful. Dick Enberg.
All right, Jim Gray, and those coaches, their mind isn't on a television interview when we grab them. Nick Saban is concerned about a lead that escaped and a game at halftime that's tied at 7-7. That's it from South Bend for the moment. Now let's go to Hannah Storm in our New York studios with the Sun America halftime report. It is to be a head coach at a major university football program.
Everybody wants you to be 11-0 every year.
And the schedule makers don't make it very easy, do they?
No, they don't.
Not for Bob Davie again. He wants to win this game, be 2-2, a bye next week, then the rest of the schedule beginning with Oklahoma and Michigan State with an opportunity to start their season 3-0 heading to the Big Ten. As this second half underway. Deep it goes, and taking it out is Tony Driver. Driver to the sidelines and breaks a couple of tackles, and it takes the kicker to get him out of bounds. Good return by Tony Driver.
Sometimes when your offense is struggling, special teams have to come up with a play. The Notre Dame special teams, they blocked a punt in the first half, and they get a real good, I think it was Julius Jones on the block there, but the special teams opened the second half and put their offense in very good field position. So special teams, which play about 25% of the game, if you play them well, they can win you 2-3 ball games a year.
It was Plaxico Burress, the wide receiver, who made the saving touchdown. They thought it was the kicker, the last man back, and Burress with a big defensive play. Who would have expected that? First down, Notre Dame at their 41. Out with the option and the toss. Tony Fisher, and the sophomore wrapped up as he crosses the 45-yard line. Good play by Richard Newsom and Josh Shaw. Nick Myers in on the play. There's the quarterback comparison, Pat.
Really identical. I mean, this interception really shouldn't count. That was kind of the end of the half. Just trying to throw it up there, hopefully something was going to happen. Neither offense really, as we talked about, has been terribly dynamic. I think we've seen some good, quick defensive plays, but they're going to have to come up with something in the passing game really to open this game up. Either one of these teams.
Second down and 5. And the option the other way to Fisher. Chased by Robaire Smith. Fisher gets to the sidelines, but steps out shy of the 50. So he'll be short of the first down by 1.5 yards.
Yeah. A really good play by Eric Morris, the strong safety. Now, he didn't really actually knock Tony Fisher down, but you're going to see him come up here and really make a play on this option play down the line. When Eric Morris is their strong safety, the leading tackle, fights off the lead block. I mean, that's a hard thing to do, that lead option. And he really forced Fisher wide. I mean, otherwise, maybe he picks up the first down.
Eric Bam Bam Morris, number 9, just to make sure he doesn't forget he has it tattooed on his chest. Now that's tough. On 3rd down, the pass to the fullback Lipinski gives the Irish a first down at the state 45-yard line.
Hey, give Kevin Rogers some credit. Remember, that was the same play in the first half that was wide open that he dropped. But, you know, he had the confidence in him. Kevin Rogers comes right back on a 3rd and short, gets the ball to that fullback, Tom Lipinski. It's my observation in football over the years that rarely is the fullback covered. I mean, the fullbacks are always wide open. Everybody says, that guy's too big. He can't catch the ball.
Yeah, Lipinski with great Notre Dame heritage. His dad, Tom, was a cornerback with the Irish back in the early 70s. He has a big catch and a first down. From the Spartan 45. Give it to Fisher. Cuts to the 40 and steps out at the Spartan 38.5. Richard Newsom, the safety there, to bump him out of bounds.
Yeah, Jim Jones, the offensive left guard of the Irish, did a real good job of leading the way there for Tony Fisher. I mean, this offensive line in Notre Dame, very inexperienced, not necessarily young, but inexperienced. But Jim Jones there did a real good job of screening his guy off, and because they haven't been dominating running the ball yet, because they need a lot more teamwork among those 5 players.
2nd down and 4. Against the fullback Lipinski, burrowing inside the 35, and he has a first down at the Spartan 34. Josh Thornhill, his dad Charlie, a member of the Michigan State Big Ten champions of 65 and 66, number 50 in on the tackle. Dad was Mad Dog. I remember him. He was all over the field. They once said he had like 45 tackles in one game before they kept official statistics. I think time has stretched that number a bit, but he could hit you.
He probably wasn't a kicker named Mad Dog, was he? Played a little defense.
Yes. First down for the Irish. Suddenly moving deep into state territory on this opening drive. Jackson in trouble, and he eats it back at the 50-yard line. Nowhere to go, as the pressure came from Eric Morris from one side and Julian Peterson from the other. Boy, that Peterson just makes play after play.
11th tackle for a loss this year. You're going to see some pressure off both corners. When the quarterback turns his back, the problem with the blitz, when you've got your back turned on that play action fake, you can't see it and you can't react. And that's what happened right there. He gets turned, doesn't see the blitz off the corner, and then, you know, ordinarily Jarius Jackson's a pretty versatile guy, can make something good happen, but no chance there.
Well, Peterson continues his big play. His dad, an FBI agent for 17 years, around the nation's capital. They mark it at the 47, so it's 2nd and 23. Jackson lofting it for Rakai Nelson, fighting the defender. Who's got it? Nelson.
Oh, my. Excuse me.
That was an oh my catch for Nelson. It appeared the Spartans were going to intercept. It's a 32-yard play.
Now, Jarius Jackson is not stepping into the ball, but nonetheless, he well covered, and sometimes when a guy's well covered, an underthrown deep ball is the best play he can make. And Rakai Nelson, their leading receiver, just made a fabulous adjustment. Fabulous.
That's turnabout fair play. It was Hill that took the ball away from the Irish receiver, Javen Hunter, in the first half, and now it's Hill denied by the hands of Rakai Nelson. First down at the 15. Tony Fisher for 3, maybe 4.
Strong play by Rakai Nelson. I mean, it starts as a football play and ends as a basketball play. And you throw it up. These guys are so athletic in this game today. You give them a chance. Even when they look like they're covered, you give these wide receivers a chance.
It took some hand strength by Nelson, because Hill had a pretty good piece of the ball himself. Nelson with 3 catches today to run his team leading total to 16. The option goes to the fullback, Goodspeed, and he gets nowhere as TJ Turner was in the backfield to make the tackle for a loss. That'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator of the Spartans, said to us this week, TJ Turner, number 35, has to have a good game for us against the option, or we're not going to have a chance. And then there's Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator. His first year comes from the University of Miami, Florida.
Well, they've done a good job on the option.
Absolutely.
There hasn't been a big play off the option.
Absolutely. 0 for 5 on 3rd and long.
It's 3rd and 10 here.
Can't take the sack.
5 defensive backs for the Spartans as Jackson will accommodate, but he lost the ball for Brown, and this one's intercepted. As Amp Campbell makes amends for the touchdown at the end of the first half. Campbell, great position with the interception, and he has his first pick of the year.
Well, you know, he got away with it a moment ago by Raquel Nelson. I don't think this is necessarily a bad strategy. You throw it up, you give a guy a chance. Maybe a little more depth on the ball. A little bit too underthrown. Good position by Amp Campbell. He's got some size at 6 feet in great body position. Gets his hands turned, and Bob Davie, understandably, is not happy.
That was a great drive that ends in a turnover. State has the ball at the 20.
Financial goals require solutions. Dreams deserve dedication. Success demands performance. If there's something you want to achieve, the principal has one word of advice. Plan ahead, get ahead. The Principal Financial Group.
Man has always dreamed of getting to the other side. Some make it, some don't. But at least your phone calls get there. Because Agilent provides technologies for almost every kind of communications network. From way down here to way up here.
Frogs do not have the active response system. And it shows. Only the Alero has the active response system. 16 features working together to connect you to the road. Frog, without the active response system. Alero, with the active response system. Alero, by Oldsmobile. Start something.
Notre Dame football is brought to you by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile dealers. By Champion, official outfitter of Notre Dame football. And by Agilent Technologies, dreams made real.
So the Irish take the second half kickoff, go 44 yards to the state 12-yard line, and then this interception by Campbell.
You know, a moment ago he underthrew a deep ball and Raquel Nelson stole it. This one had to have a little bit more air on it. I mean, to make it a jump ball. That one was just too underthrown. Throw it higher and you go get it.
So 6 interceptions all of last year in 10 games and 6 already this year for Jarius Jackson. The pass play, Ronaldo Hill's play in the first half was ruled a catch and a fumble, not an interception. But Amp Campbell, the veteran corner, makes the big play to stop the Irish here early in the second half. From the 20, Bill Burke to throw. Into the flat for the tight end Baker, and he gains 5 yards. Baker with the 8-yard touchdown catch for the Spartan score early in the second quarter. Amp Campbell. Oh, it's hard to believe it. Spinal injury, the 6th and 7th cervicals, and the spinal fusion surgery, and had that big halo and the brace for 4 months, and just kept rehabbing and didn't give up a dream. He said, I could not let myself end my career.
Used to rehab with his father.
Amazing months. 2nd and 5. Give it to Clemens, who gets 4 more, and it'll be 3rd down and 1 at the Michigan State 29.
Tripped up by Brad Williams.
Brad Williams in there to trip up Lloyd Clemens, who goes out, and in comes the big freshman TJ Duckett.
Well, they started the year as their short yardage tailback.
They spot that ball closer to the 28-yard line, so it's 3rd and nearly 2.
Those are some healthy pads.
Duckett hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss at the 24-yard line. Anthony Denman, what a game he's had. He's the man who forced the fumble that set up the touchdown late in the first half, and Denman made the first strike, and then Devron Harper there to finish him off.
Yeah, you're right. Devron Harper, the corner, came up and really made a very good play. You got to take on the fullback first, Moss. Denman's there. Denman's up high, and Harper's down low. So, really good defensive teamwork.
Ario Harrison and a swarming tackle by the Irish. So Michigan State 3 and out in their first possession of the second half. Then on to punt is Craig Jarrett. Just got that one away. No flag.
Here's
Julius Jones to the 44-yard line, and now the flag thrown about 6-7 seconds after the play. That's why the fans are booing.
Yeah, and they should boo, I think. That official was not sure. He took an awfully long time to throw that flag.
And so that's going to be roughing the kicker, and Michigan State will maintain possession. Well, let's see it again.
It's from this side over here.
Well, he was thrown in.
Yeah, when he blocked into the kicker.
Terrence Howard was really rolled into with kind of a holding block.
Yeah, if you're blocked into the kicker, it's not roughing the kicker. I don't think that's the right call there, Dick.
Well, Notre Dame has felt that in the last couple of games, Big Ten officials have been unkind.
Yeah, absolutely. He was blocked into the punter. Shouldn't have been a penalty. And it took the official a very long time to throw that yellow flag.
It's a 5-yard running into the punter, not a personal foul penalty.
So it's not an automatic first, right? We'll do it 4th and 6.
That's right. So it'll be 4th down and 1. And they'll have to punt it again, one would presume. That'll be the call of Nick Saban. 4th down.
Running into the kicker. 5-yard penalty on the defense. Remains 4th down.
So back will come Craig Jarrett on 4th and 1. As they mark off the penalty to the 29, just past the 29-yard line. So it's 4th and a short yard. Roland Moore points out the importance of that terrific defensive play by Harper and Denman and Harrison to stack up Duckett for the loss on 3rd down. Well, both kicking units back on the field.
It's your average fan.
It's going to be a great party tonight.
Isn't it? Oh, boy. He's already started.
Jarrett delivers a high. It's the best kick of the day for him. Backpedaling is Jones all the way to his 18, 25. Now see some daylight at the 30 and out to the 37-yard line. Yes, sir. Julius Jones, the 5'10 freshman from Big Stone Gap, Virginia, is going to excite Irish fans for 4 years. He's got some talent. 54 yards on the punt, 19 on the return.
You know, the Irish have had some bad luck with calls. Remember last week, some very controversial calls.
Well, Purdue was not called for 12 men on the field on the 4th quarter punt, which would have given the Irish a first down. That was late in the game, as you well recall. And then the apparent winning Irish fumble recovery for a touchdown, called for a touchdown, overruled by another official. Play down. And finally on the goal line stop, precious time ran off the clock as referees could not see Purdue calling a timeout. Cost maybe 10 seconds. They complained to the Big Ten office on all 3 calls. Tony Driver off the option, and he has a first down at the 49-yard line.
You know, Dick, this is the first time I've seen Jarius Jackson deal the ball in the option this game and look comfortable doing it. He's had some just terrible pitches this year. But this game, he seems much more comfortable coming down the line and pitching the ball. Last year, he carried the ball 99% of the time on option. This year, he's pitched it more, but has had some bad pitches. But today, he has been perfect.
Just a footnote on the penalties and the officiating last week. You know, it's the losers that complain, though.
Yeah,
you notice that through the years? Winners don't usually talk about it. They missed that one.
Let's get that guy next week.
Driver again, living up to his surname, to the 45 of Michigan State. A pickup of 6 before Josh Thornhill can put a stop on him. Morris there as well. There's Thornhill. As a true freshman, he started 6 times last year and averaged 9.5 tackles a start. So he's going to be around in that green and white of Michigan State for a while. Runs the 40 and 4.6. His dad is now security sergeant at the state capitol, the Senate. 2nd down 4. Ooh, quick toss to Driver, being chased by Robaire Smith, who makes the tackle. Smith getting him by the heels, denying a 1st down.
Boy, 278 pounds. Is Robaire Smith quick? I mean, 2 years ago, he had a great year. He's right down here. Well, the pitch is almost intercepted there.
By Julian Peterson.
Yeah, by Peterson. I mean, they've got some quick defenders. Smith had, 2 years ago, had a sensational year. Last year was a down year for him, but he's been off to a very good start this season.
And he does have 14 career sacks and 24 tackles for loss prior to this year.
Yeah.
Now 15 sacks and an interception too. 3rd down 4. Fake to Driver. Jackson has a man wide open. The tight end Holloway shuffles the ball, incomplete.
He was open early.
Really open early.
He was really open early. Jarius Jackson had to step out of the pocket, so he couldn't deliver the ball on time. One of those little things. You'll look at the tape tomorrow and say, had we protected Jackson better, this ball's thrown on time. It's a big play to Hollywood.
It's a touchdown.
Absolutely. You see him waving his hand.
And looking for the sideline and took his eye off the ball. Holloway rarely used this year, the 260-pound target. He's now a junior. Has only 4 catches now in 4 games. So the punt team on. Jim looks like a Joey Hillbold. He hit it high, not so long. Scott lets it go. And I don't know if that's going to work. 2 men in midair passing the ball to one another, but it's a touchback. Good try. That's a circus act.
Which one's Siegfried and which one's Roy?
I don't know.
I never could figure those 2 out. It looked like his foot was on the.
He was already in the end zone.
Yeah.
Timeout. Still tied at 7. Back in sunny South Bend with a score tied here in the 3rd quarter. And a reminder, next weekend, NBC brings you 16.5 hours of coverage. Golf's premier international team competition, the Ryder Cup. Tiger Woods and the U.S. team. That's Sergio Garcia, the Tiger Woods on the European side, the young Spaniard. And by the way, for those of you on the West Coast, a Ryder Cup preview show will follow the game today. Ryder Cup begins next Saturday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. for you out there.
I will be up though. I'm going to watch all 16.5 hours. I've got to say, right?
You're not alone.
Steve Pink, who did my surprise pick for a star in the U.S. team.
A USC guy talking about a UCLA golfer.
How about that?
It's all right, Burke fires to a wide open Plaxico Burress, and a 6'6" target from Virginia Beach, Virginia, has a Spartan 1st down at the 35.
Plaxico Burress, number 7 on here on the outside. Again, when you're 6'6", boy, it really makes it easy for your quarterback to see you over and through linebackers. Now, I mean, they throw him jump balls. It doesn't mean they don't run him over the middle. The second crossing route they've thrown to Burress today. But he can jump over, he can run by you, or he can run over you at 225 pounds.
3rd catch for Burress, his 11th of the season, leading the Spartans. Another throw by Burke, this time to the other receiver, Gari Scott. And Scott more dangerous in the open field. Boy, he's got the Irish defense turned around inside out and races to the 48-yard line at Notre Dame and a 1st down.
This guy does everything. He's a leader on the team because he's a co-captain. Returns punts, returns kicks, and then he makes plays like this. Really nice design. Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator. There's a guy back in the flat. The linebacker takes him, and they curl Gari Scott behind him. And then a very good run after the catch. Interesting point, I thought, Dick, is very rarely do I see a team where a wide receiver is a captain of a team. He must be a good leader because he is a single offensive captain on this team.
Talking with him at East Lansing a couple of days ago, you can just see it in his eyes that he has leadership in there. There's a big play again by Denman. Grant Irons had given the quarterback Burke something to look at, and Denman, who has played an outstanding defensive game, the best we've ever seen him play, registers a sack.
A high school tailback. Watch these guys inside. Denman was kind of a delayed blitz by Denman. High school tailback. All these linebackers have speed. Talked about it this week online. but this guy can really make some plays, has all day, and ran irons. The best we've seen him play.
And he's like you. They asked him what his hobbies were, and he said fishing and chilling. I know you're in that.
Well, good at the chilling part, yeah.
Second down, 17. A flag down. It appeared that the right tackle, Greg Robinson Randall, released
a lot of names
prematurely. Robinson Randall.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Tough to miss, big old 76. He's 6'6", 312. He's got a hyphenated last name, Robinson-Randall, but see, they didn't have, even on those broad shoulders, not enough room for his entire name.
Yeah.
He's tough to miss if he makes a little mistake. And from Hitchcock, Texas comes Robinson Randall. But the Coffeyville, Kansas, Community College.
For a kicker, he'd never get that name on his jersey, would he?
Yeah, he'd come around to the front side, right over that Michigan State. Second and 22. Burke with both wide receivers left. Looking down the middle, fires incomplete. Good coverage. Johnny Sanders had drifted in front of the potential pattern as Scott and Burress breaking across the middle.
I'll tell you, good inside rush, too, by Lance Legree and Andy Wisning. I mean, that's what forced that underthrown ball.
Yeah, they welcome Legree back, who missed both the Kansas and the Michigan games. The senior from St. Stephen, South Carolina. He gets a good push from that defensive tackle position.
And that's terrible for a quarterback. You can't follow through and get enough on the ball if there's people in your face, and they're getting that inside push.
Tied at 7, 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Third and 22. Good time for Burke. He scrambles, but got from behind and is able to hang onto the ball as he's tackled at the Notre Dame 49-yard line. Trailing the play was Rocky Boyman, the sophomore from Cincinnati, linebacker.
Boyman, number 30, here, the hustling play, comes on the outside rush, doesn't quit there. Now he becomes a chaser. Boyman, a linebacker, but again, high school safety with very good speed. A lot of effort out of these linebackers for Notre Dame. A lot of speed and a lot of effort.
You ever see redder hair than Rocky Boyman?
No.
Redder than Boris Becker.
That's his given name, too, Rocky.
Right.
Apropos.
Folks like that name, and that's on his birth certificate. All right, Jarrett's punt. Fair catch called for, and Jones lets it go. And Michigan State unable to save it. They had two Spartans, and Peterson, one of them, down to try to down the punt. Notre Dame at the 20. When we return, tied at 7.
This great Notre Dame moment is brought to you by Champion. On September 17, 1994, the Irish traveled to Michigan State in search of their second win of the season. Early on, Notre Dame's only bright spot was a Ron Paulus to Derek Mays score that made it 20-7 Spartans at the half. But Michigan State would not score again. And when Paulus hooked up with Robert Farmer for the touchdown in the fourth, the Irish had a 21-20 victory. Their last versus Michigan State to date.
Back at Notre Dame, Nick Saban, 47, grew up in West Virginia. His dad was his first football coach, Pop Warner coach, American Legion baseball coach, died prematurely at age 46 while he was jogging. He said, still my greatest inspiration. I never thought I would be a coach, but I am like my father after all. He, like his counterpart, Bob Davie, as we said, baseball talents young, and both Pittsburgh Pirate fans. You talk to them, boy, they talk about stars. Joe Clemente, those were their boyhood stars. Now, one of these two teams trying to hit a home run for their coach. It's still tied at 7. 4:17 left in the third. And to give to Julius Jones. So the freshman, not only returning kits, is getting more and more opportunities as a runner. Well, it's tough being a coach. You did a lot of time taken away from a family, but for Nick Saban, he tries to involve his 12-year-old son, Nicholas. He said, you know, the nice thing about it, you know, I could even take a recruit to a basketball game and have my son there at my side while I talk to a recruit.
Yeah, that's what he said. Like the college game. His son and daughter to the games.
Generation. Father,
Gain of a little more than 6.
as he I'm sure thinks about his father each time he sees that good-looking young guy.
Well, you know, families really agonize for the coach, don't they?
Oh. How tough is it here at South Bend for the Davie clan?
Wow.
Good fake by Jackson. fairly open field, able to kick free from Peterson, and still dropped at the 33-yard line, but that'll be a first down. TJ Turner secures the tackle on the 235-pound quarterback, Jarius Jackson.
I've always loved the determination of Jarius Jackson. I mean, the play-action fake, not going to force it. Sometimes you get tentative after you've thrown some interceptions, of course. Good move, and then the strength to get out of Peterson's reach. Knows where the first down markers are. His head is always up, always aware. Very smart play by Jarius Jackson.
So with Hannah Storm at halftime, a salute to Jackson being the sole captain of this team. Suspected that for him. The freshman hit the backfield, breaks the tackle, but can't overcome the surge of three more Spartans led by Peterson again.
Way too much penetration, Dick. You know, you keep calling Peterson's name. Every time you call it, I think he's 4 yards into the Notre Dame backfield. And Hubert Thompson, Boo Boo Thompson, number 89 in there as well.
He's just a sophomore.
Yeah, but just see way too much penetration. And they're never letting the play develop.
Richard Newsom from safety also in on the stop.
Second and 14.
A 4-yard loss. Picks up second and 14. Those are 10 minutes of this third quarter. Been a bruising battle as expected. I believe Michigan State offside. Jackson's going to run it anyway. Out to the 36-yard line. One tackler away, and that was Ronaldo Hill from a big play.
Yeah, it's a free play, and Bobby Brown knew it. Bobby Brown was the receiver who missed that block, and he's upset with himself right now because he realized if he makes that block, Jarius Jackson is going to run for another 30 yards. And he is very upset with himself.
See, there's the offside on the left side of the line.
Right there. Now, as a quarterback, you know, hey, I've got a free one. You'd love to be able to throw this ball downfield. Now, over on the right of the screen, Bobby Brown right there just couldn't get him. He was afraid of the clip. But if he blocks Ronaldo Hill, Jarius Jackson may still be running.
Saban is pleased with the way his team is playing here in the third quarter. Actually, Notre Dame outplaying Michigan State in this period, while the Spartans seem to have the upper hand, although let the lead get away in the first half.
Now, neither team is playing very well offensively. I mean, that is clear.
Defense. 5-yard penalty to the previous spot. Remains second down.
No, Jackson run not, although more than the 5 yards, not enough to give up the down as well. So they'll save the down. It'll be second down and 9.
They need a catch and run. You know what Notre Dame needs is an easy 8 or 10-yard completion with a wide receiver who catches it in full stride and can run with it after the catch.
Jay Johnson down the bottom of your screen with Ant Campbell on him. There's the option toss. Short side of the field. No room for Julius Jones to turn upfield, and he may have gained a yard at best.
A year ago, Michigan State was awful defending the run. They gave up 171 yards a game. This year, coming in today's game, they were only giving up 29 yards a game. I was shocked to find out that was as low as 8th in the country.
But Eastern Michigan last week punted 16 times.
You never had a first down. The punter, by the way, got a letter. Eastern Michigan got the full letter for you.
Got 3 letters. Never should have changed their name from Durham. Third down and 9. The blitz. Jackson eludes. Throws deep. Has Rakai Nelson. What a catch. No, yes, it is at the 21-yard line. Rakai Nelson has made a couple of spectacular catches.
Yeah, it really has been amazing. Jarius Jackson has thrown a bunch of balls up, and a lot of them have been caught, but because of remarkable plays by receivers. Rakai Nelson twice. Bobby Brown once for a touchdown. And again, you don't have to block everybody when you have Jarius Jackson's athletic ability. Fighting and scratching. Campbell with pretty good coverage, good makeup speed. I mean, that was a well-adjusted catch by Rakai Nelson.
His 4th catch. He has 99 yards receiving. Notre Dame threatening to break this 7-7 tie. Fisher runs into a swarm of tacklers led by Julian Peterson of Michigan State.
You don't realize how hard it is to adjust to a ball when you really get pushed around and, you're bouncing up and down. But that is a remarkable concentration by Rakai Nelson because he's got a pretty good guy covering him in Ant Campbell.
Campbell throwing that right hand right through the two arms. He said, how did I not knock that one away?
He's unlucky.
Big day for Rakai Nelson, who continues to lead the Irish in receiving this season. Holloway, the tight end, shifts to the right side. Up the middle goes Fisher. And he's to the 16-yard line where Josh Shaw leads the tackling group of the Michigan State Spartans.
You know, Dick, real tough situation for Bob Davie, I think. It's 3rd and 4. Now, ordinarily, you'd think you're in field goal range. His kicker, Jim Sanson, is struggled as a kicker this year, both in field goals and extra points. So ordinarily, you'd say, hey, let's, my defense is playing real well. Let's just not make a mistake here. We'll kick a field goal, go up by 3. But I think he's got to be a little bit more aggressive with his play call.
He's going to let this third quarter run out so they'll have time to talk it over. Final seconds of the third period. We go to the fourth. This long-time rivalry, Michigan State and Notre Dame, goes to a crucial fourth quarter. A lot on the line. The Irish certainly don't want to go 1-3, desperate for a win. Michigan State, a victory today against the Irish would send them into the Big Ten battles 3-0. We'll be back after these words from your local station. Brown, the intended target, and TJ Turner appeared to be the man, along with Ronaldo Hill, out to break it up. And here comes Jim Sanson, who has 1 for 3 field goal tries this year. Sanson hitting on only a 20-yarder, basically an extra point missing from 37 and 43. This will be 33 yards.
Tough angle, and his trouble has been kicking the ball low.
Give the Irish the lead. It's up. It is good. Sanson's 33-yard field goal, and Notre Dame celebrates its first lead of the game, 10-7.
Pretty good hold there by James Caputo, a walk-on holder, and then a good kick by Sanson. There's a snap, a little off-center, kind of wobbly. Gets the ball down and up. There's Caputo, the holder. And then, give Sanson some credit. I mean, you have to battle with your confidence, as he has this year some. But in a clutch moment, when your team really needs it, you get a good hold, and you knock it through and put your team up by 3.
Now the senior from Scottsdale, Arizona, Jim Sanson, his second field goal of the year. And Notre Dame finally in the lead, 10-7.
Michigan State's got to get their offense going. They just have not been terribly dynamic on offense. And Bill Burke, the quarterback, is going to have to get the ball some to his wide receivers.
One can't help when you see that score to think about 1966 and perhaps the most famous or infamous tie in the history of college football. State and Notre Dame 10-10. As the Irish went on to win the national championship with a tie under Harry Parsegian. Scott at the 5, 20. And good coverage. And Hebert in on another tackle. Give the kid a scholarship. Come on.
Yeah.
Dig down deep, Notre Dame. Give that Hebert a scholarship.
Oh, man.
He's had a terrific game, this walk-on.
Well, October 30th, they play Navy. He'll be playing the opposing team's wishbone quarterback with later in the year. And
talked to him last year. A terrific student, an honor student. And just happy to pull on those pads as a Notre Dame player. The star of his dorm, you can be sure of that.
Absolutely. And this was kind of a punishing. He got a little help from Sapp, Jerome Sapp, number 20. I think Sapp got about 80% of that tackle.
Yeah, but he has a scholarship.
It's true.
So Michigan State trailing 10-7 early in this fourth quarter. Just seconds gone. Clemens out of the backfield, and Burke, the left-hander. Denman forces the throw, and it's to the sideline. Short yardage complete to Plaxico Burress. Again, as we said earlier in the telecast, that Plaxico, he said his great-grandfather had the name. It goes back over 100 years in the family. He had an 86-yard touchdown against the Irish a year ago. They've been able to keep him to short yardage today.
I was surprised to understand that was the longest pass play for a touchdown against Notre Dame in their storied history.
7 yards on the reception. Clemens. Short game, maybe a yard. Good, low, nice Breaking tackle by Anthony Weaver.
Again, Denman and Harrison in there as well.
Also in on the line was Anthony Weaver.
Wow. Contrast in halves for the two teams, and Notre Dame piling up the yardage here in the second half. That has Nick Saban shaking his head. Third down, 2. Scott to the right, Burress to the left. The throw complete underneath to the tight end, Chris Baker. He's had a big game, and it's enough for the first down. His 5th catch, including the touchdown early in the second quarter.
Yeah, the tight ends have really been working the middle, and good call there in a short yardage play. Big target right in front of the quarterback. Good throw by Burke to Baker right into his chest so that it can't get bobbled, can't get knocked away by the defender. Good offensive line protection. But again, to get, to take a lead in this game, they're going to need to hit one of those wide receivers on the move. Everything, as soon as they catch the ball, they're getting tackled.
11 catches on the season now for Baker. On first down, Burke throwing into the flat, complete to Baker again, and a tackle that saved a lot of yardage by Boyman, just got him by the heels. Baker matching his total for the first 2 games with his 6th catch, the son of a Queens, New York policeman.
He catches 13 today as what?
Baker's doesn't.
I just knew I couldn't get that by you. Catch your foot.
First down, no. Second down, no, you confuse me. I just can't stand compliments. Second down and 4. Michigan State down by 3 here in the fourth quarter. 12:45 left. It's Duckett and the big bruising young freshman just running over tacklers to the 49-yard line. First down, Michigan State.
Yeah, with shoulder pads as large as he's wearing, I don't think he's ever going to hurt his shoulders, but he is going to affect some other players. Good block there by the center. Jensen kind of knifed his man out of the way. D. Cooper, the free safety, who's 220 pounds, just hit him and bounced back.
Show you what kind of athlete he is. Duckett, 3 times the Michigan State shot put champion, set the state record just under 65 feet. He's used to throwing things around, and 255 with his speed, he could really be a force. Into the flat. Again, it's Baker. And Michigan State taking what the Notre Dame defense will give. And on first down, it's good yardage, about 6 or 7.
It seems like a Ken Burns documentary. It's taken so long. I mean, they're really kind of very methodical, very slow, just throwing the ball underneath, taking forever. They're long. Right, Ken Burns?
I got you. Okay. I got you. PBS. Yep. 44-yard line, they spot it. Second down, and it's about 3.5. Burke perfect on this drive. And his main target, number 83, the tight end, Baker, with 7 catches today. Baker in motion. Fake toss. Burke wide open. The other tight end, Ivory McCoy, and he is inside the Irish 15-yard line.
It's easy to understand why Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator, likes these 2 tight ends. I mean, he started the game with a 2 tight end formation with Baker and McCoy. And McCoy this time comes across the formation. He's down here, and you're going to see him run this way. And again, he fights through some traffic. He's being trailed by Sanders, Johnny Sanders. Good throw by Bill Burke. Good call by Watts, the coordinator.
30 yards on the play. Burke showing again. He throws very well on the run. So Michigan State threatening to regain the lead. First down at the Notre Dame 14. Burke. Again this time to Gari Scott. And Scott, the wide receiver, is to about the 8-yard line. Pickup of about 6 before Lamont Bryan can make the tackle. Well, Notre Dame knew all week long as they practiced against Burress at 6'6", Scott at 6'1", and Baker at 6'3", that they were going to be undersized. Most of those defensive backs in the 5'9" to 5'11" range, with the exception of D. Cooper.
Well, right now you got Clifford Jefferson 5'9", on Burress 6'6".
Second and 3. Clemens Knights to near the 5-yard line, stopped a yard shy of the first down as Grant Irons down at the bottom of the pile.
I've really been impressed in situations like this with this offensive line of Michigan State. I mean, they've done a good job for the most part of protecting Bill Burke. And they've got some really tough yards in the running game. And they need 2 more here, a long one, I guess, for a first.
And in comes Nick Saban's running back, TJ Duckett, the freshman, number 8. Lining up in an eye behind DeJuan Moss, the 236-pound fullback. It's Duckett, hitting the backfield. Tario Harrison read the gap and met Duckett full force and dropped him for a loss.
And we've been talking about the Irish's linebackers today. Denman, Boyman, Farrar, this time Harrison. A guy generally who's kind of a speed guy. He's, known for his quickness. This is a finesse, just a power play. Just kind of skates down the line, beats up 255 pounds, and drops him.
Here comes Paul Edinger to tie the game. A short 24-yard field goal attempt. Burke is the holder. And Edinger remains perfect. Heard the U. It did appear a bit low, but it cleared the lineman. It's tied at 10. Well, that was inevitable. 9:42 remaining in the 4th quarter. Michigan State 10. Notre Dame 10. Welcome back. Members of one of the many fine bands here in the Midwest, the Michigan State Spartan Band, who entertained at halftime. The Irish and Spartans continue to battle here into the 4th quarter. Defense has been the key today as we're tied at 10 once again on Edinger's 24-yard field goal. He remains perfect for the year. 6 for 6 field goals, 9 for 9 points after. 32, Terrence Howard. Deep with Tony Driver. Won't reach the end zone. In fact, Howard at the 8-yard line. Up the middle, got a crease. Hit hard at the 31-yard line, but a good return by Howard. 23 yards on the play. A reminder, folks, part of NBC's Premier Week coming up.
NBC Wednesday. It's the gripping presidential drama that's been called the Fall's Best. The West Wing premieres this Wednesday on NBC.
All the critics raving about the West Wing. It's going to be must-see TV. Premier Week on NBC upcoming. Jarius Jackson and the Irish back in a 10-10 tie, starting from the 31. Fumble, it's a free ball, and the Spartans appear to be all over it. Yes.
It was that counter play they ran successfully in the first half. But I think it was Nick Myers who made the recovery. The ball got caught on the running back's hip. Did you see that, Dick? Remember that counter play that Tony Fisher got in the first half pretty well? For a nice little game, yeah. See, there's the fake the fullback, and he hits it on Lipinski's hip.
And it rolls right into the Michigan State defender, so it was a free ball, and Myers alertly falls on it, the sophomore from Springfield, Ohio. And Notre Dame miscue leads the Spartans to a golden opportunity. They've just kicked the field goal to tie it, and now they're presented with a gift at the 31-yard line. And converting turnovers not successful thus far. Another chance for Bill Burke. Throws into the flat to the running back. Clemens breaks one tackle. Still on his feet inside the 25-yard line. Hard running from the senior from Detroit.
This Notre Dame defense, their offense has been 4 offensive turnovers by Notre Dame today. But the Notre Dame defense has rallied. They've held Michigan State to 10 plays. And it's because of hustling defense like this. Now, this is a positive gain for 8 yards. Burke trying to get the ball downfield. But you see a lot of guys hustling, even when they don't make the play. Farrar's there. Jefferson. The defense, really both teams have played very well when the offense is really sputtered.
Myers happy with that fumble recovery, hoping to give his Spartans a lead again. short. Clemens, big hole, and he's to the 15-yard line and a first down. DeJuan Moss, the fullback, clearing the way with a big block.
Well, in a game like this where your defense is playing really well, you have to know the circumstances of the game. But first of all, watch the hole open up right in here inside for Clemens. Sakura, number 70, Jensen, the center, doing a good job. But Dick, now if your quarterback's telling your team, know the circumstances, our defense is playing well, 8 minutes left in the ball game here, where it should be in field goal range. Yeah, of course we're going to try to score the touchdown, but don't turn it over. No sacks, no turnovers. Secure the ball when you go through the line.
Lloyd Clemens, the single back. Burke fakes to him. Lots of time. Able to elude 2 defenders and throws incomplete. Intended in the corner for Chris Baker, who has been his #1 target today. Deke Cooper was over there along with Clifford Jefferson.
Really impressed with Bill Burke's mobility.
Burress wanted the ball. He thought he was open for a score. Play by Cooper. Let's see where Plaxico Burress was on the play.
Indeed, he was open. You remember, the quarterback was running over to his right. He may not have seen him, but he was open.
Second down, 10, Michigan State. Nearly perfect in the second half. Burke, 10 out of 12. Throw to the end zone, incomplete. Well, he went back to Plaxico, said, hey, I had a touchdown, and I'll get open for you, but not open enough. Good coverage by Devin Harper. Anthony Weaver applying pressure finally on Burke.
You're right. Anthony Weaver up front really forced Burke to throw that ball a little bit early because Burress was open. But, again, the good inside rush, particularly by Anthony Weaver. Anthony Weaver just blows right by his guy. See, the quarterback just cannot follow through.
Third down and 10, Michigan State. Tied at 10 here. Midpoint of the 4th quarter.
For Michigan State, anything but a sack or an interception here.
The crowd rises as one. Key play. Burke throws to the end zone. Incomplete. He wanted Chris Baker, the tight end, or the other tight end, Ivory McCoy, and Deke Cooper was right there.
But that's a smart play, Dick, because he didn't force it. Bill Burke is calm. He talked to us about being the facilitator this year. He is not going to force the ball. He knows the circumstance of the game. If your receiver makes a great catch, fine, but don't give the defender a chance. You've got a good kicker. Your defense is playing well.
So Edinger, who just kicked a 24-yarder to tie it. Now this one from 32.5, probably call it officially 32 yards. It's up, and it is good. He remains absolutely perfect. 7 for 7. Edinger, and Michigan State leads it officially 33 yards on the kick. It's the Spartans 13, the Irish 10. Back in Notre Dame, Michigan State scored early, 7-0. The Irish with a big break on a fumble recovery in the final minute of the first half, tied it at 7. And then it's been field goals here in the 4th quarter. Sanson's 33-yard field goal made it 10-7. Then Edinger from 24 and 33 to give Michigan State the lead 13-10 as the Spartans take advantage of the 4th Notre Dame turnover, the fumble at the Irish 31. And now Edinger to kick it off. Deeper this time to Driver, a yard back. 10, 20, one man to beat the kicker. And he gets it. Edinger saves a touchdown with a tackle at the 40-yard line.
I mean, you can look at it 2 ways. Great play by the kicker, or if you're the return man, you've got to make the kicker miss.
41-yard return and nearly a touchdown.
Well, from the very moment he took this, it looked like something good was going to happen. They had a real good seam there, a real good seam. Then one guy left. He tried to set him up, but, that's a good tackle by Edinger. Jonathan Hebert, number 48, has had a real good special teams game. Well, some turn to go. Might have pushed him in the back, actually.
You wouldn't want to put that one in his portfolio, I don't think. From the 40-yard line, first down, the Irish trailing 13-10. Play action, Jackson. Looking deep. Has a man wide open, Jaden Hunter. Hunter tackled at the 18-yard line of Peterson, the linebacker, all the way downfield to make the tackle.
Dick, nice play, but it should have been a touchdown. That's an underthrown ball again. I mean, that one, Javen Hunter is open by 10 yards. If you lead him, it is an absolute score. It's 6 points. It's underthrown. He's waiting. What you saw how open he was? Now, you know, if Notre Dame doesn't score, that's a critical mistake. He was wide open.
Yeah, he had to stop, wait for the ball.
Should have been a touch.
JJ connection, Jarius to Javen. 43 yards on the play. And now up the middle goes Tony Driver. Not much there. Every possession now critical. Under 7 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Michigan State leads by 3. And down at the bottom of the pile, big number 91, Robaire Smith. Getting up slowly. Perhaps the wind knocked out of him. And that was quite a collision with Tony Driver. Both men down on the canvas. So we'll take a timeout with the score. Michigan State 13, Notre Dame 10.
This legendary Notre Dame moment is brought to you by Adidas. The #1 ranking in the country was at stake when undefeated teams Notre Dame and Michigan State met in 1966. The Irish trailed 10-0, but a Bob Gladio touchdown brought them to within 3 at halftime. Then Joe Azzaro capped the Irish comeback with a field goal that made it 10-10. That turned out to be the legendary final score as Notre Dame went on to an undefeated national championship season.
It's a heck of a collision here between Robaire Smith and Tony Driver. Kind of nice into the hole, shoulder on shoulder. It looked like Driver actually hurt his shoulder. Smith was down after the play also, and they took Tony Driver into the locker room. One more wham block here. Or Holloway.
Boy, Robaire Smith. Oh, that was head on. So Driver apparently the worst of the two, and holding that left arm, cradling back to the locker room where x-rays will be made. Jim, do you have a report on the injury?
Yes, I do, Dick. He was just taken off Tony Driver, and the doctors tell us that they're fearful that he may have a broken collarbone. They will x-ray it right now. He will not return to this game. And when we have the results of that x-ray, we will let you know. As for Robaire Smith, he's going to be all right, just shaking up on the play. Dick?
All right, thanks, Jim. So Tony Driver out and Tony Fisher in to replace him. 2nd down and 9. With the Spartans leading by 3. Ball inside the 20. Quarterback draw, and well done by the Michigan State defense. And the man who ruined the play was Desmond Thomas. He had infiltrated and forced Jackson off course, and there was plenty of help. And once again, Julian Peterson with a hit.
You keep calling Julian Peterson's name. Sometimes he's the front guy, sometimes he's the cleanup guy. The quarterback draw, which Jarius Jackson has run so magnificently the last couple of years. First of all, they didn't fool the defense, and then they certainly put a stop on him early in that run.
No gain, 3rd and 9. Harris had made good on only 1 of 9 long-yard 3rd down situations today. Blitz. Jackson throws. Incomplete as Ronaldo Hill breaks up a potential touchdown throw. Leaping high was Rakai Nelson.
Well, again, they've made a couple of these connections. Rakai Nelson's made 2 great catches today on plays somewhat like this, but a terrific play again by Hill. But again, I want to go back to the underthrown deep ball earlier in this drive when Jarius Jackson had Javen Hunter wide open for a touch, didn't get it to him. Now they forced the field goal attempt.
And it'll come from just inside the 35-yard line. Officially 34 yards for Sanson to tie it up. And it is good.
He got that one up quickly.
So 4 field goals, 2 aside here in the fourth quarter. The game remains tied at 13 with 5 minutes, 44 seconds to play. The battle in the fourth has been between Jim Sanson of Notre Dame and Paul Edinger, the kicker, Michigan State. that concerto for cymbal. Your favorite music.
He was fighting back that smile and just couldn't resist at the end, could he?
Tied at 13 with 5:44 to go, and a deep kick by Sanson. Whoa, out of the end zone. Michigan State will begin at the 20-yard line as the shadows grow here at Notre Dame Stadium. Coming down to each crucial possession, final minutes, and needless to say, those of you who've been following Notre Dame, it has been their undoing the last 2 games at Michigan and at Purdue. Chances late in the fourth quarter.
But, you know, they do have all 3 of their timeouts. So does Coach Saban's team. Nick's team has all 3 as well. But, you know, here's the key. You gotta have to get some pressure on the quarterback. You know they're going to be throwing the ball. 5:39 remaining. Get some pressure on the quarterback. Notre Dame really hasn't gotten much to Burke. Has done a good job of avoiding the rush.
Burke sends Baker, the tight end, in motion. Too much time. Knocked in the air. Is it intercepted? No. Unable to come down with it was Anthony Denman. He was up high over the pile, but somebody's reaching.
You're right. Somebody made a nice play from the Michigan State side trying to knock it down. It may have been a lineman. Bill Burke against avoiding the rush, stepping up into the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield. There the ball goes up. Now, what? I don't know who. Another white guy in a white jersey knocks it away.
It was Harrison. Tario Harrison, 51, who tipped the ball, and Denman had the best chance to recover for Notre Dame. Well, you can see, look at me, Gary Scott, the wide receiver, who came in to knock it away. Big play. 2nd and 10. Down the middle it goes to the big wide receiver, Burress, and drops. Juggling catch, and it's ruled incomplete.
You know, he is a talent, but he drops a lot of balls. Dropped 3 last week, dropped that one. And he's made some good plays today, but he looks like he cradles the ball to his body a lot instead of catching it with his hands. Uses that square in route. It's the 3rd time we've seen it. It just doesn't secure the ball. That should have been a catch and a first down. Good throw by Burke.
And a juggling catch with pressure on. Boyman there to help knock it loose. 3rd and 10, and the student body at Notre Dame down at that end making a lot of noise for Bill Burke. Complete to Scott. Is he in bounds? If he is, this is a touchdown for Michigan State. Big play, 80-yard touchdown, Gari Scott. Deke Cooper had a shot at him back around the 40-yard line, but Scott, the elusive senior, who was a penchant for big plays, able to elude the tackle and somehow stay in bounds. 80-yard touchdown. Now Edinger to try the extra point for Michigan State. And the Spartans with the lead, 20-13.
You know, Dick, I said, where do you see the wide receiver as the sole offensive captain? Gari Scott is, because he's a leader. Why is he a leader? He makes plays at appropriate moments. This is one of them. Last year, they had an 86-yard pass play. This year, 80 yards. Now, the right foot stays in, not on the boundary. You see some green grass.
Oh, that's great balance.
Yeah, it really is a strength. It was a well-thrown ball. Caught it, and Deke Cooper really kind of took a poor angle. Maybe he could have pushed him out of bounds, but that is a great play by Gari Scott.
His 4th touchdown of the season to lead the Spartans. One-on-one with Deke Cooper.
Yeah, there's the angle. If he takes the angle there, he knocks him out. You know, that's what Greg Madison, defensive coordinator, will talk about tomorrow, because he made a catch, 15-yard gain, but if you take the right angle, you knock him out of bounds.
He said his idol is Jerry Rice. He's worked hard to make himself a better player like Rice. Went to the same high school in Lake Park, Florida, Riviera Beach, actually. Suncoast High School is Anthony Carter, the great All-American at the University of Michigan. Gari Scott. Huge play, 80 yards for a touchdown.
So as Nick Saban saying to us, every single day and every practice is important to Gari Scott, and he's still getting better.
So 20-13. 5 minutes 11 seconds left now for the Irish to come back. Burke with a perfect throw and a great call. They had Scott isolated. To the sidelines, bobbled by Howard, and Terrence Howard doesn't quite get back to the 20-yard line. Well, a reminder again that next weekend NBC will bring you 16.5 hours of coverage of golf's premier international team competition, the Ryder Cup. Tiger Woods and the U.S. team looking to win back the cup after losing 95 and again in 97 in Spain, and they'll battle Sergio Garcia. It's a rookie-laden side for the Europeans. They do have Colin Montgomery and others, but 7 first-time players on the European side. The Ryder Cup coverage begins next Saturday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Pacific here on NBC.
Yeah, the USA has a rookie, a pretty good one though, right?
One rookie, yeah, only one.
Is he good? David Duval, yeah. I kind of like the way he plays.
All right, the burden falls on senior Jarius Jackson and the Notre Dame offense. The give is to Fisher, and he gets about 5, maybe 6 yards on first down.
4:55 remaining in the game. Notre Dame has all 3 of its timeouts. So your 4 offenses available to you. One of the Michigan State players is down. That's their middle linebacker, TJ Turner. Yeah, has played so well.
Stops the clock at the 4:48 mark, and Turner trying to catch his breath, helped off the field. A reminder again that Tony Driver injured on the last possession for Notre Dame and is out for the game and maybe longer. We're waiting for that report. So the burden now falls on really the youth of the running back core for the Irish. Fisher's a sophomore. Terrence Howard is a sophomore. Julius Jones a freshman.
Time is really not a factor right now as it has been in weeks past for Jarius Jackson, but getting first downs is.
2nd and 4 shotgun. Quick throw, complete to Nelson. And he has a first down at the 36-yard line. Ronaldo Hill makes the tackle.
Has he adjusted to the ball well? I'm talking about Rakai Nelson, number 9. I mean, the ball's been kind of thrown all around him. None of them terribly right on the numbers, but he's made some great adjustments to the ball in the air. And it's easy to catch the ones that are right there in your hands, but he's gone up twice high. That time kind of around his body to make that catch.
He's over the 100-yard mark in catch receptions today. Yardage. 18 for the season now for Nelson. On first down, Jackson fires again to Nelson. Bumped out of bounds at the 43-yard line. His 6th catch. Amp Campbell makes the stop.
Dick, I can tell the Irish have been working on this hurry-up offense. I mean, they've had so many mistakes in the last couple of weeks, but the nice thing here that Nelson does is get the ball out of bounds. You don't have to use a timeout. They spent a lot of time doing that. And for Jarius Jackson, he's been in a situation this time like this the last couple of weeks, and he's taken some sacks, so you have to avoid the sack in this situation.
TJ Turner back in the lineup defensively for Michigan State. On 2nd and short, give it to the sophomore Fisher, who's tripped up shy of the first down. Looked like he had the yardage, but lost his footing at the 45-yard line, and Eric Morris was there to secure the stop.
And they're not in a hurry up. They're fine with 3:45 remaining in the game. They still have the 3 timeouts. The important thing is get the right play called. And this is where your offensive linemen have to get it done. You find a lot about a young offensive line in a situation just like this.
Well, as fate would have it, it appears that Notre Dame's going to come down into the waning moments again with a game on the line. 3rd and 1 at the 45. Jackson throws to the sidelines, almost intercepted. Amp Campbell right there with the left hand to knock it away.
I think you have to go for it. I think you have to go for it. Now, a year ago, the Irish were so confident with their tackle running with Audrey Denson. They run this ball up the middle 9 out of 10 times. They just don't have that play to hang your hat on. Great play by Amp Campbell. Could have been intercepted.
4th down and 1, and Bob Davie elects to put the punt team in. Of course, remember a week ago at Purdue in about this same situation. He punted the ball to Purdue with less timeouts. He's got 3 timeouts that he can use if the defense can hold Michigan State and then try to get the ball back.
And their defense, other than the last drive, has played well all day.
Unless this is a fake. It is not. Bill Bull. Scott, fair catch at the Michigan State 15-yard line. 40-yard punt, no return. 3 minutes, 8 seconds remain. Michigan State 20, Notre Dame 13. Back in sun-baked South Bend, late afternoon shadows. Michigan State claiming the lead 20-13 on an 80-yard strike from Bill Burke to Gari Scott. And now they'll try to run out the clock with 3:08 remaining. The Irish with all 3 timeouts.
And conversely, the Irish are looking for a stop, or they're going to be stripping the ball carrier.
Clemens eludes the tackler in the backfield and runs out to a first down at the 31-yard line. They had him in the backfield, but a good move by Lloyd Clemens. He's not been spectacular, but he's given the Spartans some solid yardage today.
Yeah, he really is steady. Although, Dick, the one thing I would say in that situation, you better secure the ball. Remember, he fumbled the ball right before halftime. They made a nice run there, picked up the first down, but that ball was a little loose.
83 yards rushing for Clemens on 17 carries to complement the passing game of Bill Burke. Actually, the Spartans could take much more time here. Well, it's down to 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Clemens, nothing there.
Notre Dame should start using some of its timeouts. It's 2:30. I think they just used one. Yep. Used one of the 3 timeouts. And boy, Notre Dame may well find themselves in the exact same situation they found themselves in the last 3 games.
2:37 left. Spartans by 7. Bob Davie trying to think ahead at all possibilities here. His team has used 1 timeout. Michigan State 2nd down 9 at the Spartan 32-yard line. 2 minutes 37 seconds remain. TJ Duckett now the tailback. Fake to him. And the throw to the sidelines complete, but Baker goes out of bounds.
No, they called him in.
Oh, they called him inbound. Looked like he fell out of bounds, so the clock continues to run, and that forces Notre Dame to use a 2nd timeout.
Good call, except you'd like to see him run into the wide side of the field so you don't have to even mess with the boundary. It would have been disastrous for Michigan State had he gone out. Foot in. That ball looked out of bounds to me.
It's a pretty tough call. They're saying that his knee went down before the ball fell out of bounds.
I guess, but where the ball is when your knee goes down, if that's out, the clock should have stopped. Play they've run all day long.
And left foot sliding, but the official right there says he did not go out of bounds.
Yeah, boy, I tell you. I think the top third of that ball is on the chalk. I guess it's paint these days.
So the ball spotted at the 39-yard line. Notre Dame uses its 2nd timeout. 2 minutes 26 seconds remain. Have won 10 straight games here at Notre Dame Stadium, and that is now in jeopardy as Michigan State leading by a touchdown 20-13. And what a play this is. 3rd down. It's a long 2 and a must stop for Notre Dame. First down for Michigan State. They can all but run out the clock. Burke keeps, throws for complete. First down to the tight end, Ivory McCoy, and that could just about do it. The Irish have only 1 timeout, and there's 2:21 left.
You know, what a great call by Nick Saban. You know, Dick, how many coaches have we seen over the years go into a shell, you run the ball 3 times, you punt it away, and the other team drives down, and they score. 2 throws
Great
in a row.
fake to Duckett, too. Carried out that fake.
Yeah.
And Baker, who has been a consistent partner for Bill Burke all afternoon. What a day Baker has had. 8 catches for 51 yards, and many of them for critical yardage, and that's certainly the biggest first down of the game. We're under 2 minutes.
Hang on to the ball.
And Lloyd Clemens breaks into the clear with a Johnny Sanders chase Clemens, the longest run of the game.
You know, when defense is trying to make something happen, sometimes you pop it through. It's like a short yardage play. You pop it through the first wave. They had about 9-10 guys up near the line of scrimmage. And he does a great job of taking it down.
43-yard gallop for Lloyd Clemens, who nearly went all the way. They say he stepped out at the 15-yard line. 125 yards rushing for Clemens. It's been a good 1-2 punch. The Burke passing game to Burress and Scott and tight end Baker, and then Clemens, when needed, other than that critical fumble end of the first half, has really contributed as well.
Well, you know, Dick, if the Irish lose this game, and they're certainly in danger of it, 2 plays stand out in my mind. An underthrown deep ball to Javen Hunter should have been a touchdown, and Tony Hunter not being able to avoid the kicker on that kickoff return.
That's right. He had a touchdown in front of him, but Paul Edinger, the kicker, able to make the tackle at midfield. Give it to Clemens. The Irish will try to rip away at the ball, and that's their final timeout. Stops the clock. 1:43 left. And unless Michigan State makes a horrendous error at this point of the game, it would appear the 10-game home winning streak is over for Notre Dame. The last time the Irish lost here at home was in 1997 in October to Southern California. Mark Cusano's fourth-quarter interception turned the game around for the USC Trojans. His long return set up Adam Abrams' 37-yard field goal that put USC up by 3. And on the final play, Irish quarterback Ron Paulus sacked the Southern Cal. Former head coach John Robinson held on for a 20-17 victory.
John Robinson, a couple weeks ago, was a situation much like Bob Davie was playing against Baylor. He's at UNLV. Baylor was trying to run the clock out. They fumbled. UNLV picked it up, ran, and won the game.
98 yards for a touchdown, won the game when it should have been over on a kneel down.
Absolutely. I think you don't even avoid, I think you absolutely avoid the handoff situations here. They may choose to do that. But Notre Dame has no timeouts remaining. I wouldn't ever let the ball get out of Bill Burke's hands right now.
Well, you got 25 seconds between plays. You kneel down at plus 25, kneel down plus 25.
Or even if you take, 2 or 3 yard loss, you move around a little bit and you kneel down, the game's over. But don't remember what happened at the end of the first half when they were trying to run it out and Lloyd Clemens fumbled.
Nick Saban certainly has gone over all possibilities, and he has a veteran quarterback, Bill Burke. And he certainly has been a good facilitator today. 2nd and 9. They do hand off, and Clemens not taking any chances, not trying to go for second effort. As soon as he was hit by Justin Smith, or Anthony Denman it was, he went down. Clock running.
Boy, not as painful a loss for Notre Dame as the last 2, Dick, but a game once again they had a chance to win.
Michigan State compiling 235 yards in the fourth quarter. As the Irish did claim the lead for the first time earlier in this period on a Sanson 33-yard field goal, 10-7. Edinger tied it with a field goal, then UCLA. Or at Edinger's 33-yard field goal, made it 13-10, and that's taking a chance. They call time.
Yeah, that's an error. That is an error. Well, yeah, you've seen some mismanagement of the clock the last few weeks, but in that situation, you're trying to run out the clock. You certainly don't want to call a timeout. It's funny. I had a coach one time in a game in a situation like that, called timeout, brought me over to tell me to run the clock out.
Take a timeout. I said, make sure you call a timeout.
Yeah, make sure you run the clock out. Yeah.
Don't take a timeout. Now looking ahead, Notre Dame with a bye week next week. And then 2 weeks from today, they're home against the Sooners of Oklahoma. The following week, it's the Sun Devils. And then the Trojans of USC. Another off week on the 23rd. And then a home game against Navy before they go to Tennessee against the Volunteers. They will have 55 straight days at home. But the game meal won't taste very good tonight, as this is their 3rd consecutive defeat.
Yeah, I can think of nothing worse after a loss than having a bye. I'd much rather play the next week.
Well, of course, Bob Davies' highest hopes was a win today, 2-2. Season still intact. There's an off week to get ready for a long run, and you preach the idea this is a whole new season. Maybe you win all of them and get a major goal. Third down 9, 61 seconds to go.
Still don't know how Michigan State got in a situation where they had to call a timeout.
Burke takes the kneel down.
Almost fumbled that ball, that snap.
Well, today's Chevrolet players of the game are Gari Scott from Michigan State and Anthony Denman from Notre Dame. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. And beginning this year, Chevrolet will also donate $1,000 to the following high schools: Gari Scott's high school, Suncoast, Riviera Beach, Florida, and Anthony Denman, Rusk, Texas high school.
Well, you know, you see Michigan State line up for a field goal. It's 4th down with 26 seconds. Boy, you just sure as heck don't want a blocked field goal return for a touchdown.
30-yard field goal attempt by Edinger. And it's up, and it is good. Oh, it's taking a risk.
Wow, it is.
But that secures the victory for Michigan State, 23-13. Nick Saban's team will start this 99 season unbeaten, 3-0.
They beat a good Oregon team. They beat a team on the road here in South Bend. And they've got a formidable Big Ten schedule ahead. But that's a good football team. That's a very good defensive team, an efficient offensive team.
It's been a big fourth quarter for the Spartans as they've scored 16 points and rally from a 10-7 deficit as the Irish led early in this final quarter after a short field goal by Sanson.
They took a chance to attempting that that field goal. You know, again, it gets blocked. We have seen these things happen. We're not making these things up.
Those are career-ending when it comes to coach's tenure.
Oof.
Davey helplessly watches it go through. In a way, it's almost as if Saban gave Davey and the Irish a chance. Try and block it.
Yeah.
So the green and white Michigan State fans will head north. A treasured win, and Saban will be able to claim not only 3-0 at the start of the year, but 3-0 against Notre Dame.
Well, he's got a pretty good ball club. Remember, his team beat #1 Ohio State last year in Columbus. Good road team.
Edinger skids it down. And it's Terrence Howard on the return. Howard across the 30. Fumbled the ball. Ripped away by Michigan State. Plaxico Burress, who plays on the kick teams, the wide receiver, forced the fumble and recovered it.
They had 5 turnovers today now by Notre Dame.
Open air burglary by Burress.
It is pretty remarkable that Burress is on the kickoff team. You know, wide receivers, and you'd think these guys, play on the outside. Don't do much. They're good, strong hands. The small dogs that work again.
And so Burress making enough plays on offense, used on special teams, and forces the turnover. And Michigan State now will have it at the 31-yard line with only 7 seconds remaining and 1 kneel down, and it officially is in the book for the Michigan State Spartans.
Quarterback's favorite play.
Bill Burke and Michigan State go back to East Lansing with a hard-earned 23-13 victory. It was Burress who made the final play, but it was his teammate at the other wide receiver position that really won the game with an 80-yard catch and run, Gari Scott, that gave the Spartans a 20-13 lead. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Dick. Nick, congratulations to you. In that fourth quarter, you guys were able to overcome a 10-7 deficit, and you scored 16 points. What was the difference in that fourth quarter?
Well, I think, we really emphasize with our players, if we'll be relentless for 60 minutes, we'll have a great opportunity to win the game in the fourth quarter. And I was really pleased with the way we came out in the second half after a little adversity at the end of the first half to play the way we did. And I think Notre Dame played a great football game, but we played better in the fourth quarter.
Nick, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, back upstairs to you, Dick.
All right, Jim, and once again the final score from Notre Dame Stadium. The Spartans 23, the Irish 13. Tonight it's great drama on NBC, a special episode of The Pretender, followed by 2-hour season finale of the show. It all starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. And coming up next, for those of you on the West Coast, A preview of golf's premier international event, the Ryder Cup. Stay tuned. Michigan State Spartans off to a 3-0 start here in 1999. They go home with a win, 23-13 for Pat Hayden and Jim Gray. This is Dick Enberg. So long from South Bend.